Now
It would be more like
So,
a James
yeah.
Brown kind of cat.
Can I ask where we're starting? Because, like, are we just, like, saying, forget we can pull a race from it?
Sorry, you were kind of breaking up there. Where we're starting?
Well, I mean, like, are we going, like, super broad with the characters?
Oh yeah,
Like, okay.
it's Spelljammer. Go with whatever the fuck you want. I mean,
You got your,
Ryan's
cameras
gonna
all
be
fucked up,
an ooze, a plasmoid. We made a new subclass for him, which is the Path of the Ooze Barbarian, and his shtick is that he wants to eat one of every. He wants to like dissolve one of every creature in the verse. So
Hey, Brian,
yeah.
the cameras are all fucked up, eh?
Yes, they
I know mine
are.
is.
They shouldn't be. Oh, it's because I'm sharing the other screen, which we didn't do the first time. Ah, that's what's going on. Where are you, Pat? You are.
I'm in your box.
Yeah.
I'm Silent Brad right now.
You are right in the
Half your
middle.
screen
There
is-
we go.
Yeah, I know.
It's because previously I didn't share that when we were playing Ultimate Chicken Horse.
So are we going to be talking and playing some Ultimate Chicken Horse again today?
We're probably going to be talking quite a bit because it's a hefty one. We're probably going to be talking next week too when you're gone.
Oh yeah, because I will be, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like for some reason, so like all this stuff's happening next week. Like Krista's, her work is having stuff that they're doing like next week. I've had other people like, oh, what are you doing next week? And it's like, man, is me and Krista the only people that go out of town anymore and actually like visit people on Thanksgiving? Everybody else is like, oh, we're doing things in, like, everything's happening. I'm like, fuck, man. Like,
I did not know that it was Thanksgiving until a coworker told me yesterday that it's Thanksgiving next week. So
you're like, oh shit.
yeah, exactly. I gotta call my mom and ask her what we're doing. Am I getting free food or what?
Yeah, what's happening with that, right? You're like, so are we having turkey or are we having ham?
Yeah.
What's going on, right?
Where's my week worth of leftovers?
Right? I know that's the best. Eh? We're going to the farm, and I think we almost started a new thing because last time we went, Krista's dad went and bought a bunch of seafood like lobster tails and like shrimp and fish and all that stuff, and we just had a big seafood cook. It turned out great. It's like it's a pretty good Thanksgiving
my
right there.
Green screen's all fucked up. Whatever. Okay, well, we're just a few minutes in. I had to fix those cameras because I forgot that I didn't share a third screen on our Discord last time, that it was just the three of us. But no Magic Mushrooms Mead D&D today. Today it is chatting about the new 1D&D playtest pack.
And Arkham Forge.
And Arkham Forge. Hey, look at that.
Right?
Look at that segue. Let's just give me a moment to open up this and go for it.
Well, because not only are we talking about whatever the hell we were talking about, but we also got Arkham Forge, which we're going to be talking about as well, because it's fantastic in there. And I just fucked myself up because I closed my page. Anyway, I'm doing horrible today. But we are an Arkham Forge affiliate, and you can get the Arkham Forge Master Toolkit program, the same one we use for our maps, with a one-time payment, no subscription fee, can be used fully offline, installed on an unlimited number of devices with one person. It's easy to import and manage your own content. You can build fully animated maps with the full commercial license to export those maps if you wish. You can set the scene with immersive audio, manage your campaigns with the robust linkable note system, hook up your TV or projector and play in person, and it is touchscreen compatible for use with your physical minis. And if you guys are interested in checking out, there's a 4-day trial.
14-day trial.
14-day trial. What did I say?
You said
I
4.
said something. 4-day? 14-day trial. Yeah. You can try it on 4 days because I imagine you probably want to buy it. And then you'll want to use the code word mushroom tips, all one word, for $5 off on the either fantasy or sci-fi starter pack. So if you guys are thinking about that, you should totally check it out.
Absolutely. And I mean, as you can see from the video, they do integrations with every major VTT. So if you don't want to use them for the virtual tabletop like we do, you can just make the map in it and export it to Foundry or Owlbear Rodeo, Roll20, and even the line of sight and dynamic lighting will still work. So
damn, that's awesome, right?
It is.
Check it out, guys.
Yeah.
Mushroom tips, you get $5 off. What was that?
Great map building tool for sure.
Great. Oh my god, I can't even talk to you.
It's okay.
Arkham Forge, fuck yeah. That's what I'm
Arkham Forge, fuck yeah.
Forge, fuck yeah.
Making maps to save the motherfucking day, yeah.
Keep going, I'm loving it.
Oh god.
Fuck yeah. Arkham Forge, fuck yeah.
The official
Arkham
commercial.
Forge and build a map printer. And then something about big titties. You might go and play D&D every day, but it's probably for the titties. It's Arkham Forge, the Arkham Forge, yeah. That's all I got. I'm sure I'll get sued for that too. I apologize. That was Now You're a Man, and I'm not too sure who sings that, but it was off the Orgasmo soundtrack. Now You're a Man.
If it's Trey Parker, it's I believe their band is called DVDA.
So most likely DVDA. Guys, check it out.
Yeah.
Orgasmo, another fantastic movie back in the day.
Yeah.
From the creators of South Park.
All the music from their all the music that they do is DVDA. I remember from back in the day when I used to illegally download music, and then I learned my lesson and started paying $10 a month from iTunes to get unlimited music. So, hey, pay the artists, right?
Yeah, pay the artists. Remember Arkham Forge? Mushroom tips, all one word. $5 off. 14-day trial. Not 4, but I imagine you will want to get it after a 4-day trial.
Exactly.
Arkham Forge, fuck yeah.
So, Unearthed Arcana 2022 Expert Classes, the second playtest pack for 1D&D. From the sounds of it, Pat, you didn't look at the first playtest? Because you didn't know where to find this one?
I like to play things from the seat of my pants. So I come in and I just kind of shoot from the hip.
Yeah.
That's how I roll. Unfortunately, well, I think it works out for me most of the
It
time.
does,
Maybe
yeah.
not for everyone else.
So,
But, we get into it, we talk about it, we'll have a great time.
yeah.
And I will put in my 2 cents about everything, even if I don't know much about it. So watch us more, and like, subscribe, all that stuff.
Exactly. There's a couple things that are coming back from the character origins. It's saying if you're using both the first level feats and the races and backgrounds and all that stuff are sticking around. Most of the stuff that's in the old rules glossary is coming back, but anything in this document that contradicts supersedes what's in the previous document. Then it goes into what I really like. Well, first we should talk about the power level. I've seen so many people saying, oh, the new ranger is so overpowered, and they nerfed the bard. But the way that the playtests work is they try to go overpowered and back it off rather than underpowered and move it forward. And I didn't think that the bard looked too nerfed. There was like one thing that they took away and a couple things that they moved around. Counter charm. And I think I've seen counter charm used once and not in one of our games.
Yeah, I've never even.
Yeah.
How often do you use charm in a
Because
game
charm
anyway?
itself is not always, well,
It's
I
not
don't
always
know.
a one-hit wonder, right?
Charm
You
is
think?
not necessarily our game.
Exactly.
Yeah, turn up your mic a little bit.
Yes. I was gonna say.
Oh, me.
I'm pretty deaf, so
But
on the best days I'm deaf.
the only time that I've really seen counter charm used was in Critical Role when they were in the Feywild and had to not be charmed by some area that had a bunch of dryads singing or something like that. But it's never really come up in one of our games, and we're using the the official videos. And what the hell?
Stream dropped.
Why did that happen?
What's going on? We screwed something
The
up?
stream on this dropped, in Discord dropped.
Yeah.
Just put it on the document that you're rolling through, so we can keep where you are.
Okay, that's easy enough.
And then
looks
that way,
like
I
we're-
think what happens is it pauses the stream when it's minimized, and when
Yeah.
that was minimized. So
And we got all of
There.
our cameras are all mixed up again.
Yeah.
Bro.
I was trying to share the the music with you
Sorry.
guys, but whatever. You can listen to your own music if you want.
Your guys' voice is the only music I hear. Yeah, but what are you guys doing?
And
just start beatboxing.
the really cool thing that I am looking forward to is the 48 subclasses that they plan to introduce. And these are all going to be for the new player's handbook. 48 subclasses.
Well, how
Well,
many
that
primary
sounds
how many primary classes are there?
There's
Math.
12 because from the looks of it later in this playtest, they're not going to be making the Artificer core.
I thought it was confirmed that they were making the Artificer core.
It
has
talks
a-
about it being in it talks about it being in the whatchamacallit, Tasha's and Eberron, and specifically calls it an expert class, and it's not showing up here.
Yeah, because
So-
it's underneath all the class groups you have.
Well,
here.
Yeah.
I think the reason for that is
Artificer
because
also an expert.
well, I think the reason for that is because it was literally just released.
I guess
Right.
that's true.
Like they're not they already worked it in a way with what they had considered here,
Yeah.
and so it doesn't need to be rewritten.
The only thing with that is they don't get expertise, which is what all 3 of the expert classes get.
But
So-
why does it say that the artificer is also an expert then?
Well, no,
It just says
might be in something else.
Yeah, it says for the purpose of the what you were talking about, the classes, the class types. It says it's got a star there. The artificer is also an expert. That's on page 2 here.
So maybe because it's not a polymath. Explain to me what a polymath is, because I need to.
I assume polymath means does lots of stuff. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's
That's
just
better.
saying that it's there instead of here.
Oh, there,
Yeah.
yeah. A polymath, a person
So, yeah.
of wide-ranging knowledge or learning.
There you go.
All right. Okay. Interesting.
And then they've got like the primary ability, how to create. They did change armor training instead of armor proficiency. I watched the video with Todd Kenrick and Jeremy Crawford, and he says the reason for the change in the name is because armor proficiency is the only proficiency in the game that doesn't add your proficiency bonus. So it makes sense to change it.
Thank you. I appreciate that change.
Yeah. And then 3 class highlights, and we're going right into Bard. Your current class, your main class there, Patrick.
Yeah. Can I just ask you guys a question? You guys were just talking about the armor thing, right?
Yeah.
And then, so, like, just talking about the armor with part of the, I guess, the polymaths? I don't know. It just says that creating a member of the class. The class's description includes a section on how to create a member of whatever class, blah, 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 hit points, proficiencies, and it says it's got armor training here.
Yes.
You gain from the first class. So what does that mean? Like, you actually have to...
So it's saying the armor that you know how to wear without any detriment.
Okay.
So
it'd be like the same old stuff. Like you'd have certain ones like rogues want leather armor.
Yeah,
'cause it's easier.
and like for the bard, the bard is if we scroll down a bit, we can see that their armor training is light. If they try wearing medium or heavy armor, then they can't cast spells and they get disadvantaged to stuff because they're not trained to use it unless they take a specific feat.
Which I'm kind of happy they're bringing that back, or like into more focus, because it used to just be like negative disadvantage on stealth rolls, and or like your movement was reduced or whatever. Like there was just it didn't feel.
I think it was technically in there, but it wasn't actually like very well really expressed.
It wasn't well defined. I guess.
Yeah. I don't think there was like I don't even know if there is a rules glossary in the PHB that says, hey, if you don't have armor proficiency in this, then you can't cast spells. But it is part of it. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess I think the intention before was that just you weren't allowed to do it, and the intention on here is you can do it, but there's a penalty to it.
Exactly, yeah.
I guess, so. Okay, can you...
and then if we go in here to the table, where, I mean, we're looking at pretty much the same stuff. It's, instead of having... when you get your bardic inspiration, this is the die you get. It's just giving, just like the artificer and barbarian and rogue, it's got a specific column, which is good. It's helpful. But one thing that it's missing is the spells known column, because they have changed the way that all spell casting is done.
Okay, come on. Like, I'm tired of your tail in my face.
Creating a bard, I think, is going to be, for the most part, the same. You get the 1d8.
Did they do the spell casting in the last one? I don't remember.
No, they had the first level, the cantrips and first level spells. This one's got the full spell lists.
No, I just meant like the express the rules on it. I don't.
No, they didn't. I think they just said that this is look at the current PHB for it. The only things that really change, well, first is your skills. It used to be choose any 3. Now it's the stuff that they have in here, they've mentioned a few times, these are suggestions. This is what the stereotypical bard will be proficient in, which is why it says these 3 or any 3. Which is good. They are... Yep.
the thing that they've made clear is that they're doing the inclusivity thing. So most of these are just, or at least when you're building your character, are suggestions on how to do it. It's like,
Exactly. The spell casting is a really good example of that when we get to that point. They are, however, taking away a bunch of the weapon proficiencies. You just get simple weapons now. Currently, you can have long swords and rapiers, hand crossbows. I can't remember.
I'm okay with that because
Yeah.
like, for the most part, you need to like train and so, Jesus, you're just slipping on with my lap.
Yeah, which is fine too, because you can't be an expert at everything, right?
Exactly.
You know, practice and loot your whole life, and then you should be fantastic with the rapier as well. It's like,
Yeah.
not really.
I think the rapier, for the most part, is to make it like they're a swashbuckler, but I think there's
like,
specifically a swashbuckler subclass where it would make more sense to put that.
A rapier, or even a what are those curved ones called? The
Scimitar.
pirate sword. Yeah. More of a scimitar.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was thinking high class fencing.
Yeah.
That'd be the rich people,
high society. Yeah, high society. High.
And they
Can't
are
see him, but he's
taking away the hand
halfway up my
crossbow,
chest.
but light crossbow is in there. So that's not a huge thing. The short sword is getting moved to simple. So that's, yeah,
Yep.
you get a sword, you get whatever there. It's not like most bards are up in the thick of it anyway.
No, okay.
Except for Deckard once in a while when he's accidentally surrounded by
Right.
ice zombies.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over here. Oh fuck.
And then three musical instruments. And
You
then
should
the
only
light
be one.
armor.
Just one musical instrument. And then when you get more higher levels up, you should be able to get more instruments.
I mean, that's fair.
Don't worry, buddy.
Because who really needs three musical instruments of your choice?
Yeah, so that is your proficiency, and then if you look down at the starting equipment, you only start with one.
Oh, okay. So you can be good at multi-level, but like,
Yeah.
I still think you should have to get good at them like over time.
Yeah.
Or go to your bard school and stuff like that.
That would be an interesting way to go about it. Let's go. Sorry, I'm looking at some other music for myself at least, and the stream. And what do we get here? They take away the options from equipment, but that's because you're not proficient in rapier and longsword, so why give you an option? Yeah.
No, that's fine.
And here is another change, the multi-classing, which in the PHB is its own portion of the chapter. Here they're telling you each class, this is how you multi-class into or out of. So it is giving you, I think that's a better way to do it myself.
How is the multi-classing work?
It's the same as it is in the PHP. It's just telling you up front in your class rather than you having to flip to a specific page to find it. And then for the features, I've got to scroll through D&D Beyond to find it here because they're putting the iconic feature up front. Here's the Bardic Inspiration, which is a smart way to do it. Put the iconic thing first, and then everything else later.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I forgot that they're giving things first
Yeah, they're giving stuff constantly. Bardic Inspiration is a first level in the current one, along with spellcasting, but yeah.
Bards are full casters, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So the big changes in Bardic Inspiration, the dice are the same, but they're changing it from a bonus action that lasts 10 minutes to a reaction. You see or hear them fail their d20 roll, here you go, here's the die. Or you see or hear them take damage, here's a heal. And healing wasn't part of the current Bardic Inspiration.
Yeah, that definitely works.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah.
And that's just base bard. That's not even like specializing any bard.
Exactly.
I like that. I think that's kind of nice. You're like,
yeah.
The guy gets hit and you're like, whoa, you good dude? And he's like, yeah.
And then
I imagine it'd probably be a D4 again, right? It wouldn't be.
No, it's starting at D6.
No, it's the same. Yeah,
really?
no, it starts at D6 and then it jumps up. It gets pretty good.
Yeah.
I get it's 12.
I believe it ends at 12.
12 right?
6, 8, 10, 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12th at 5th level. 15th level, that is.
Say again about that heal. After creature opens 6 feet and after damage, you can use your reaction to roll Bardic Inspiration die or restore a number of hit points to each people. That is really good, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Give them 6 hit points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that almost every round as a reaction, right?
Yep. As long as you have Bardic Inspiration dice.
And how many do you have?
Oh yes, because you have.
There it is.
So yeah, proficiency bonus. So that is another change. It used to be your charisma modifier, minimum 1. Now it's proficiency bonus. So it does still go up to the same max unless you have like a magic item that increases your charisma. But yeah.
I mean, it makes it better for multi-classing, but it kind of sucks for like specializing your character, I guess.
Yeah, it sucks for someone who rolls an 18 charisma off the bat.
Right.
But it's great for someone who rolls poorly or is doing a suboptimal bard. They just want to be a bard, but they've got like a 12 charisma or something like that.
Well, you need a minimum 13. So
Yeah, that's what it says.
yeah, the ability to score minimum.
Well, that's to multi-class. But if you're starting at first level and you roll a 12 on your charisma and you want to be a suboptimal bard, you can get it and you'll have 1 extra than you would in the current version. But that's really an edge case. Not too many people do that. Mostly just...
Well, yeah, most people we also don't assign stats until after we pick a class, so...
Usually, yeah.
See, we shouldn't do that for the next one. We should just roll all at once so Ryan could have like the worst possible fucking barbarian. You know? That'd be fun. You gotta play with whatever you roll at the time.
I almost want to break out the character generator that you made for that one for Chult. Because I don't know if you have all the charts or I think every updated, but if we're playing off Space Jammer on the next one, just roll that because you just said basically said free for all on it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I have done that with every campaign. I've had that where it does have the D100 roll.
Alright.
So I will have that for this one too. It's only a few extra races, but the way that Spelljammer is, yeah, you can be any race. It doesn't matter.
I want to be a rabbit folk.
I was kind of considering, because I got this one Spelljammer supplement, I was kind of considering having the AI, but it's...
a robot AI? That'd be fun, eh?
It is...
It'd be Crichton, for sure. It'd be great.
Did my stream go down or something?
No, I don't know. in my little Discord box on my screen, you were basically just a white paste. Is the only way I can describe it.
That's not a very nice way of telling Brad he needs to get outside more.
Oh, well, now yours just did it, so
must be your Discord, I guess.
Yeah. No, it was just like
I am very white.
It's like the line. It's like the line fuzz almost.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me change my lighting. Maybe I won't be so pasty.
You're good. That's
but
not
yeah, this AI.
Yeah, it looks like I got a whole shade darker.
Yeah. This AI is it doesn't have a body, so it doesn't have physical stats, and it's got an automatic 20 intelligence, but you put it in different things, but that's for more hard sci-fi than for the Spelljammer thing.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to just put it in a body, and then you'd be stuck with certain levels in that thing. So if your body has more, it'd be like a barbarian body or a barbarian robot or something like that. You'd have higher hits. But then if you put it into something else, like let's say like a cleaning bot, you'd have like lower intelligence too or higher intelligence. That'd be kind of fun, man. You get that body destroyed and you got to go into something else. Go into a Roomba.
Yeah. So into spellcasting. This is where they're doing the big change to spellcasting. Everyone is doing it like the cleric and druid, where you have all of all of the spells, but you prepare them each long rest.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine, right? Instead of just being able to switch everything up all the time.
Yeah. The only one that wouldn't be good for, I think, is the wizard, because they learn their spells through study. But you know.
Are they actually doing that for the wizard, or is that just...
No idea yet.
Chris will find out.
Yeah. So it also has, again, suggested stuff. So it's suggesting color spray, disguise, self-prestidigitation, and vicious mockery, but you can take any 2 cantrips and any 2 first level from the arcane spell list, but they have to be one of these 4 schools of magic: the divination, enchantment, illusion, or transmutation, which is taking a bunch of spells away from them, but not too many.
You want to just can you highlight where you're at, just so
I am here.
It's just so I can look.
Yeah.
Where I'm way other way. Because I was looking at some of the other stuff too.
This is page 5.
Yeah. Because I was looking down there, I'm a little bit further ahead.
Yeah.
It says they got the prepared bard spells, and then a spell marked with the dagger is always prepared and cannot be replaced when you prepare spells.
Yeah.
So there'll be certain ones like lesser restoration is always
right.
Keep the word, such and such.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so they'd be like you always have to have these. That's kind of...
Yeah.
They're just always prepared. They're just always ready.
Exactly.
They're just ones that you've done so much, they're basically ingrained to your brain.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the same way that current clerics do it. When you take your divine domain, there's specific spells each level, or each at certain levels where you just know it and you can't get rid of it, but it doesn't count against the ones that you can prepare.
So when you you're talking about these other spells as well. So when I'm doing my first 2 level spells, they have to be from only one of the schools of magic.
One of those 4 schools.
I'd have to almost probably continue with those schools, or how is that going to work?
That does come
The
up.
arcane. Okay.
A couple of the I think it's two of the later features let you take any spell class.
Okay. Because it'd make more sense. You stick with your one school instead of being all across the board, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
But hey, maybe a bard wants to dabble in some necromancy. Who
Exactly.
knows?
That would be an awesome bard.
Yeah. And I mean, these 4 schools are, the spells in there are pretty, like, they are very much bardic spells. So, I'm curious, Pat, as not a new player, but a relatively new player, what do you think about having spells suggested like this?
It makes it so much easier.
Yeah?
Because, like, if you're thinking about it, like me going in there, it's when you got too much choice, you kind of get wide-eyed and you have no idea. But if it's narrowed down for you, then it's a lot easier. There's a certain psychological thing too, where it's a lot easier to actually make a choice when you have less choices.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you just get, everything's spread out and you have no fucking clue. You can't
right.
Really, like, hope. So, to me, I think it's great. It'd make it so much easier for new people to just be like, oh, you can pick between these 4 spells. You can pick 2 of them. Like, okay, well, now I can actually just look at these 4 and go, these are the 2 I want.
Exactly.
And I mean, it's also good for DMs too, just helping new players roll up characters, because they can literally just give them that spell list instead of sitting there for 20 minutes trying to explain the spell list. The person being overwhelmed and just taking the spells anyways, right?
Exactly.
So I think it just gives that option too.
Spell, right? Like,
yeah.
Because it sounded cool. That's about it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they don't know what half the shit does.
Like someone rolling up a wizard and getting not getting the spell list. They're just looking through and they're like, oh, I want to take chill touch because then I can go up to someone. But then you find out, no, it's a ranged spell.
That does necromantic damage. It's not even cold damage.
Exactly. So, yeah.
You know what? Even in your new spell list, please just fix the damage type on chill touch. Just fix it.
Fix it and
call it something else. Call it like,
change the name.
Yeah, dead finger or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stink finger or something.
Stink finger.
Yeah, stink
well, I
finger.
mean, it's basically just like almost what isn't Witch Bolt necromantic damage?
No, that is lightning.
That one's... Okay. Yeah,
you guys keep talking. I'm gonna grab myself a drink. I'll be right back.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I want to see that. So just to remind myself, so there's the main 4 classes of spells, and then there's,
so there are 8 classes, but the bard gets cut down to 4 of them.
Sorry, can you just scroll up for a second?
Yep.
Okay, never mind. Continue.
Okay. So then moving on to expertise, which the bard is getting 1 level earlier. Which, I mean, makes sense. Doesn't really make a difference which level you get that at.
No. A little bit of an earlier power spike, which is nice.
Yeah. And then the Songs of Restoration, which is giving the bard the healing spells that they should have that aren't in the arcane spell list. And I noticed, I was going through all the bard spells. In current D&D, bards don't get mass healing word.
Correct. Yes.
Which makes no sense.
I agree.
No sense. But then I'm looking at these 5 spells. These are Songs of Restoration. What does freedom of movement have to do with restoration?
Freedom of movement, like...
Yeah.
You're restoring my ability to move. Sick.
I guess. Like, it takes away frightened, and I think if you're paralyzed or something like that, it takes that away. But Let's open up.
I don't know about paralyzed. That one's a condition. Like it's pretty bad.
So freedom of movement for the duration. Target's movement is unaffected by difficult terrain, and spells and other magical effects that can neither reduce the target's speed nor cause the target to be paralyzed or restrained.
Yeah, you just get to be a beast.
Yeah. I just don't see that as being a restorative spell. But I can't think of...
I think... Because, I mean,
what
technically, I think you can use it in response to someone being paralyzed, then,
Yeah.
right? So then they have freedom from it. You are restored your movement, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess.
But
I just can't think of another 4th level spell that has a healing effect. Not class, level 4.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's...
All I know is that all this stuff looks great on Arkham Forge. Check out Arkham Forge, and you know what? All this is going to look fantastic when you're doing your maps and all that stuff on Arkham Forge. Fuck yeah! Just remember, it's a one-time payment, no subscription fee. The code word mushroom tips, all one word, for $5 off the Master Toolkit and either Fantasy or Sci-Fi Starter Pack. Take advantage of that 14-day free trial. Alright guys, so I just wanted to kick that in there.
So I'm looking at all of the 4th level spells here, and one that screams restoration to me much more than freedom of movement is Death Ward. It's not really restorative, but I think it makes to me
same argument.
I guess, yeah, same argument.
Same argument, really, for Death Ward and that, right? One,
yeah.
Like, that one restores your movement. This one is prevents your death, restores you from death. I don't know. Well, it doesn't restore you from death, but it stops you from dying.
Actually, Aura of Life. That is a paladin spell and a couple other subclasses, but that would... I mean, it gives resistance to necrotic to everyone within 30 feet of you, and non-hostile living creatures gain 1 HP when it starts its turn in the aura with 0 hit points.
But I think if you're talking about that stuff, that would be more... we're talking about bards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so probably the reason that they've used freedom of movement is because, again, it would be like you're being inspired by the bard.
I guess.
Rather than having an aura and stuff like that. That's the only reason I would see them doing that, because you could lift up some of these spirits that they'd be able to
move. That does kind of make sense, actually.
That's where I would be going with that.
Yeah.
Up and at it.
Yeah.
Pretty much, right?
Up and at them.
Being like the cleric or something like that, which would, you get the aura or whatever, which does the other sorts of things.
Which, also, speaking of clerics, I think after our rest, change my spells around, because I have way too many spells to help people for a war cleric.
Yeah.
You're a soft war cleric.
Yeah, no, like I just realized that's a problem. I have way too many.
Not enough damaging spells. When I was a war
not
cleric,
enough smites. I need to think more things to smite people.
Yeah, when I was a war cleric, my main spell, more than healing, was inflict wounds. That's all I fucking did was inflict wounds.
I thought I had it, but I seem to not.
Upcasting that spell is great, but
It
3d10 at
D8s
first level.
of damage, is it not, right?
It's d10s.
Ooh.
3d10 at first level.
That's massive.
Yeah.
Come here and let me touch you.
Show me on the doll where he touched you. Right?
Yeah.
You can't, because his body has disintegrated.
Yeah. Or you see the black handprints. You don't need to look. The skin is like melted there.
Here, this is where he touched me.
That's just getting worse and worse, you guys.
So this is actually replacing Song of Rest, which,
It's alright.
yeah, Song of Rest.
A lot of people forgot to use it, forgot to talk about it, and
What is...
When has Deckard ever used Song of Rest?
Never. I didn't even know we had Song of Rest. What does...
see,
Song of Rest, during a short rest, you can give an extra d6 healing to a creature who is spending hit dice.
Yeah.
I thought it was everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone who can see or hear you.
You just sit there and vibe out, and like as you're jamming around the fire, everybody feels a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I think Deckard was sitting around the fire and just opening the book and reading to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's kind of.
He's a bookish bard.
Yeah.
He's more likely to just sit around the fire and insult people. That's
Yeah.
what we
Pretty
do.
much, yeah. What do you do? And then they get a negative. It wouldn't be a Song of Rest. It'd be a song of like annoyance or
Exhaustion.
something like that.
Yeah.
You get 1 point of exhaustion because Deckard was talking shit to you for 3 hours.
Yeah. And then third level, subclass. No need to have expertise because you already got that at second level. And then fourth level, instead of the ASI, now you just get a feat. Feats are no longer an optional rule, they are the standard. And
I don't mind that. I think that's
Yeah.
Give me more feats.
exactly. And the
I have always
ASI
had those.
is now a feat. So
Uh.
you can choose the ability score improvement feat or any other feat that you meet the prerequisites for.
Ability score improvement and just do feats. That's
Mhm.
Yeah.
You get your base, what you have, and that's it.
Yep.
It's like real life. You gotta work with what you got.
I still want, like, I would still be a proponent of like, let us take as many feats as we can. Like,
Yeah.
one every 4 levels seems not enough.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Actually, there was one person, I think it was Dale Kingsmill, who was talking about making classes that every class feature is just a feat. So anyone can take spell casting if they meet the minimum requirements for it.
Interesting.
Yeah. But moving on to 5th level, you get the 2nd level current bard feature, Jack of all trades. So they moved that way later, but I mean, you are getting expertise at 2nd level instead.
It's alright.
Yeah. And subclass feature at 6. At 7, you are getting the current 5th level Font of Inspiration. Now it's Font of Bardic Inspiration. This one is changed in that the first part is the same as it currently is, but then you also get, if you roll your Bardic Inspiration, or the creature rolls Bardic Inspiration and gets a 1, you don't use up that inspiration. So, that's good. I don't remember the last time you rolled a 1 on Bardic Inspiration, but you don't give it out too often.
You know, I'm like, I'd save that for myself.
Yeah.
You guys don't need inspiration. Get out of here. Maybe I should be a bard next time.
So here's the counter charm getting skipped, and then you get a feat at level 8, and then level 9 instead of level 10 you're getting another expertise, and then in subclass feature at 10, and magical secrets is moving to 11. This is where you can choose one of the 3 spell lists, and then any of your spells that you prepare going forward can be from that list and can be of any school of magic. So this is where you can go arcane and then start throwing fireballs.
Yeah.
Bitch,
Yeah.
Yep. Bitch, I'm a wizard too.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can go divine and start casting heal once you get to that point and just give someone 70 HP.
Yeah. That is a silly spell too.
It is. Mass heal is great. Just drop 70 HP on everybody.
Right.
Yeah, but we never get to those levels.
No.
Give us more levels.
Level up fast.
Make us fight tougher shit, and I will gladly take more levels just to fight tougher shit.
I mean, I have moved the last campaign, and I'm moving this campaign up a couple levels. So at least you're getting a little better. I'm gonna see what I can do for Spelljammer, because Spelljammer is short. So I'm looking for other stuff to make it longer.
Let us start at 5.
Even then, it's short. It stops at like level 10, maybe?
So let's start at 10.
Well, yeah, no. If we start at 5, we hit 10ish.
Oh, and it looks like we got a new follower.
12.
Pelican. I didn't get a... Oh, I think we got one? Or just Pelican? Just Pelican. But thanks for the follow. Sorry, I didn't see it pop up. Yeah, I don't know why, but my alerts are all wonky and don't work right.
For sure, it's the alerts.
Yeah.
Or just you.
Well, it's supposed to pop up right in the middle and have a noise, but nothing. And it doesn't have like thing or anything. Anyway, you get a feat at 12, which you don't get currently, and then subclass feature, and then more magical secrets, so you can choose a second spell list. And then you don't get the third magical secrets like in the current one. You get another feat, and then your capstone moves to 18th, giving you superior bardic inspiration and just giving you 2 expended bardic inspiration when you roll initiative. That's good. Then 19 is a feat, and then at 20th, the capstone for every class is now an epic boon. So, yeah.
So what's an epic boon, anyway?
Those are things that I haven't given you guys, but they're the most powerful types of feats that, yeah.
I always feel bad coaxing my cat out of my chair.
Epic boons are just massive. And just so you can see one, I'm going to scroll down to the luck epic boon. Where is it? Rogue and feats. I think they're all under epic. Yes. So you would be getting the epic boon of luck for a bard. So immediately after rolling a d20, you can roll a d10 to add that number to the roll. That's once per initiative or short or long rest. So that's a good one.
Okay.
One of the others gets irresistible offense. Always ignores resistance, or when you miss with a melee attack,
really
you can
for
hit instead. Yes, great for a fighter. Yeah, they're just powerful feats. Scroll back up. Went too far. And now they've got the suggested prepared bard spell list. So, yeah.
Yeah, all in all, I don't think that there's gonna be too much field change to the bard then.
Yeah, and I've seen people saying that it's been nerfed. I don't think it's been nerfed. It's
The change of magic school can be considered a nerf if you want to.
Yeah.
Because I think you have access to less damaging spells.
Yeah, until
I don't know. I'd have
level,
to
basically.
Check the new spell lists, right? I'd have to
Yeah.
check the new spell lists, but yeah, so
yeah,
it steers the bard more into the support role.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Well, that's fine, right? Shouldn't a bard be in a support role anyway?
That's typically what is considered to be a thing. There's been some crap. What is it called again? There was a specific class of bard that could go offensive, right?
Yeah, the Valor Bard.
That's where that's where you get to pull the class skills from.
Yeah.
That will give you the ability to use offensive spells or something else like that, right?
Exactly.
So I have to actually look at the classes and see.
Yeah, and that's where it's going to be coming from. The College of Creation. So the College of Valor is probably going to be getting all of that stuff there. But currently, they're just giving us the... I like this. At 9th or at 17th level, they're suggesting you take Power Word Kill.
Yes, I fucking love that for a bard. Just bard walks up and insults someone and they die.
Yeah.
Oh, I see how this is.
Yeah. And Power Word Stun right before that. Yeah.
Yeah, because this makes it so much easier, right?
Yeah. Just giving you a nice list, and it's not all of the spells to take at that level. It's just, hey, at 4th level, when you get your new cantrip, Minor Illusion is a good choice.
Legend lore.
Yeah.
Power Word Stun.
Ryan really liked Legend lore in our Chult campaign. Used it a few times.
That reverse gravity sound.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Gesundheit. Okay, so going into the lore, again, it's suggesting... Oh, no, it's not even suggesting. It is telling you this time the 3 skills that you get, which makes a lot more sense than any 3. The College of Lore is saying you get 3 lore-based skills. Which is much better in my opinion.
Well, these are bonus proficiencies, right? So these are on top of what you get at character creation.
Yeah.
So so if you're choosing that subclass, you're probably going to want your character to go that way anyway, so...
Exactly.
I don't mind it.
Then cutting words. I did write this down. What exactly is it changing?
Oh no, that sounds awesome already.
So, you can no longer use it on a damage roll.
Uses the action to expand one of your bardic inspiration, eh?
Yep.
Subtracting the number rolled from the creature's roll, potentially turning it into a failure.
Yes. And
so I guess rather than like talking shit to them and hurting them, or is that just one of the other spells? This is just
that is well, that's Vicious Mockery, but that's actually something that this version of the Lore Bard gets later. But it removes it from being able to use it on the damage roll, which makes more sense. You no longer need to use it before finding out if the roll succeeded or failed. But the thing that doesn't make sense is that a creature that's immune to charm or a creature that can't hear you is still affected by it. Makes no sense. You're saying something,
but you're not trying to charm them either, right?
Yeah,
that's
charm
true.
I can understand.
Charm makes sense.
Hearing something, hearing I could make the argument for.
Yeah, like, come on. It's like you're saying something, and it doesn't matter if it can't hear you, it still gets this.
I think it's the way they're wording it too, though, right? You learn how to use your wit to supernaturally distract, confuse, or otherwise sap the confidence and competence of others.
I guess supernaturally.
So it might not.
Yeah.
Maybe you just do something weird with your tongue, and it weirds out the creature.
Right? So it could be. You can take that a lot of different ways. So that's the way I'd see it.
Yeah. Then at 6th, instead of additional magical secrets, you're already getting 2 from the current main class. Now you're getting cunning inspiration. So that gives anyone you give bardic inspiration a reroll. So if they roll poorly, they can reroll.
And then get even worse.
Yeah, they have to take. Actually, no, they take the higher of the 2.
They take the higher.
You take the higher one.
Yep.
Yeah.
That works for me.
Then 10th, you get improved cutting words, which deals psychic damage equal to the number you roll on the die. So that's the one that you were thinking of. Well, you were thinking of Vicious Mockery, but this is used similarly. And then Peerless Skill.
So not only do you affect their d20, you also deal damage.
Correct.
I see. I like that. I think that's kind of interesting. Right?
Exactly. And then Peerless Skill. This one is changing to on a failed roll rather than before finding out if it failed. You can expend bardic inspiration to help yourself on an ability check.
I feel like they're just, some of these things are quality of life rule changes.
Yeah.
Where a lot of house rules kind of played that way-ish anyways.
Yeah. That's why they made the ability check passing on a 20 and failing on a 1 in the last one, which they have. I believe they changed that. In this one, but they're throwing everything at the wall. They've got different versions of the criticals and of that they're testing in different
are they?
packages. Yeah.
Okay.
And they're seeing which one people like more in the surveys, and then they're gonna go with that one.
Okay. Because I mean, the last crits were interesting.
I didn't like the crits from the last one, but this one, it says that the critical hits work exactly the same as they do in the current PHB. And then, let's see, jump to the Ranger. So, this one is, let's see. First, let's look at the thing here. Now we're seeing that they get expertise. The big change here is that they now get cantrips, which they didn't before. They're still a half cast, but they get cantrips.
Oh yeah, Red Ranger's now not bards. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Alright. And there's... Okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Absolutely. And because they're using the primal list, that gives them some druidic type spells that they can use, which is really good.
Yeah, what skills do we get?
So we're getting athletics, stealth, or survival, or 3 from animal handling, athletics, insight, investigation, nature, perception, stealth, survival. So it's suggesting 3, or
Yep.
choose 3 from the same ones that you would currently get.
Yep. So it still gives you the option to be an animal handling ranger.
Yeah.
Good.
HP is the same. Weapons, simple weapons, martial weapons, the same. No tools. Armor training, light, medium shields, that's all the same as well. And then again, they're getting rid of the suggestions or the choices. Again, it is giving you 150 to spend on equipment of your choice or this, which currently it doesn't actually give you an amount in the current version. I could have sworn there was a die roll per class, but maybe that was a house
I think it was a
had.
flat. I think it was a flat amount. I think it was like.
Oh, I think it's in the DMG.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the DMG. Depending on the character level that they're joining, this is what they roll. Yeah.
Because I rolled like 700 gold when I rolled.
Yeah.
Rolled in.
So studded leather armor is basically the only change here. Yeah. Rather than scale mail or leather, you get studded leather off the bat.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Studded is pretty good. Even though it's technically not a real type of armor.
Isn't it 14 plus dex?
It might be. I think it's 13 plus dex, isn't it? Regular leather is 12.
No, I thought regular level was 13.
Maybe. Can't remember off.
Neither can I. Who cares? Oh well.
Yeah.
So many things math for me now that I
Yeah.
don't remember what.
Exactly. So first level you get expertise, which you don't currently get because currently expertise is just bard and rogue. But because they're an expert class, they get expertise.
I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Favored enemy is changing. Instead of choosing a type of creature or 2 humanoid races, you just get Hunter's Mark. You don't get the language or advantage on survival checks to track. You just get Hunter's Mark. And it is always prepared, doesn't count against the number of spells you can prepare. You don't have to concentrate.
Cost.
And lasts for the full duration.
I like that. I do.
Yeah. I mean, it is losing something from it, but also at the same time, it's gaining something.
That's so worth it.
Yeah. I think that... Well, I've seen some people saying that it looks like it's kind of moving into being just a class feature rather than a spell. I think that would be better, and if it scaled like the Bardic Inspiration die.
Yep.
Yeah, that works. Well,
I'd be okay with more scaling in the game.
Yeah. Currently, it's just a D6. There is a later feature which I believe increases it to D8. But, yeah. Then you don't get Natural Explorer. Personally, I don't really like Natural Explorer just because it takes away everything that a DM would want to throw against you in wilderness exploration. But then not many people use wilderness exploration, so that's probably why they're getting rid of it.
Yeah, no. I think you end up just like I hope they don't take out the survival skill, because it does seem like there's a lot less of that interaction between locations.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe they add a skill like, well, I mean, I guess this could be considered probably survival too. It'd be like street smarts.
Yeah.
Your survival skills on the streets.
Exactly. And then they are moving spell casting up from 2nd level to 1st. Again, it works exactly the same. One thing I didn't mention in the Bard. Bards get ritual casting currently. They are getting rid of that being a feature. If you have a ritual spell, you can ritual cast it. Doesn't matter what class you are.
Okay.
But yeah, spells working the same. Cure Wounds, Guidance, Hunter's Mark, and Thorn Whip. This is definitely a problem here that they missed when they were doing it, because you've already got it prepared and it doesn't count against your prepared spells. So
yeah, that was an oopsie.
Yeah, I think there was one other oopsie like that in the document, but I can't remember where it was. And then fighting style. You get archery defense or 2-weapon fighting. So this is taking away the dueling fighting style that you could normally get. But it does let you choose fighting styles whenever you get a feat. If you want that, because fighting styles are now a feat.
I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I think, again, some of these changes are just pushing the classes more into their specializations. I think they're pushing them back a little bit more into their roles, right?
Yeah.
Because you used to see, as silly as it sounds, like you'd see like fighters and rangers kind of competing sometimes, right? For
Yeah.
that dueling, that dueling area, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is pushing the ranger back to a more ranged, I can use my sword if I have to.
Yeah.
Right? Not I use my sword as my primary, which is
Exactly.
the fighter role should be.
Yeah. One thing I wish they did have is the unarmed fighter feat, or the unarmed fighter fighting style, because it just makes me think of the mountain man wrestling a bear.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, unarmed would be more. I always thought like we the brawler or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think tavern brawler or like sailor or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So it just makes the punchy.
So I think, yeah, I'd picture that more a little bit more fighter, but I can definitely see it in that.
I just like the thought of a mountain man wrestling a bear and winning.
Right.
Giving it a noogie.
Right.
I mean, this is what we do in Canada when we turn 16. We're thrown out to the polar bears and told
Yeah.
to go wrestle our polar bear.
I found the smallest one I could and I won. Be smart about it.
Exactly. Some of us just wrestled a baby that we found, and we're like, well, it technically counts.
Yeah, it's a bear.
Hey, what size?
The size doesn't matter.
Yeah.
People keep telling me that, right? I don't know. What's that? I think they're about it.
So another thing that you're losing is primeval awareness, which you expend a spell slot to focus your awareness on the region around you, and can tell if a specific type of creature is within 1 mile. I mean, yeah, that was pretty situational.
Like, wait, hold on. A specific creature or a specific type of creature?
Type. aberration, celestial, dragon, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead. And if it's
honestly, that can still be pretty useful if you're looking for like, you know, an undead in the middle of a city.
Yeah, that's true. Or when you guys were going to the Nautiloid, if you didn't have Iggy with you, you could have, but you did have a ranger, could have used Primeval Awareness to find an aberration. But
whatever which one I call it is. Wow, now I can't think of it.
Mind Flayer?
There we go. Thank you.
Yep, aberration.
Wow, I am tired. I played 36 holes of Diff Sculpt this afternoon.
Oh, fun.
36
Yeah, we played at Hermitage, and then we went down and we played at Rundle.
Wow. I don't think I've ever played like 9 holes of disc golf. I've always wanted to. Looks like a good blast.
I don't think I've played 1 hole of disc golf.
It is fun.
How many holes in one did you get out of 36 holes?
0.
You gotta lie. So 36, you could have said at least 2, and I would have believed you. For sure, right? Yeah.
No. I need to tell you how bad I am, so that when I come back and get a hole in one, you're all really impressed with it. So you understand that it's like as big of a big deal as getting a hole in one in golf.
Well, that's why I consider it anyway, right?
Yeah.
I see.
So, feat at 4th, extra attack of 5th is the same. Then
wait, you don't have feet before you hit 4th level. How do you walk?
Actually, you do. You get the 1st level feat.
You're right.
Just a second.
Okay.
All right.
So subclass feature at 6. Then roving at 7th, which I think might be. I think it's basically the new version of Landstride. Instead of non-magical difficult terrain and entangle and stuff, your speed increases by 10 feet when you're not wearing heavy armor, and it gives you a climb speed and swim speed equal to your normal walking speed.
I like that because normally those are like half of your normal speed.
Mm-hmm.
At least, if not lower.
I think it's half, because it's I'm pretty sure it's like 1 foot for every 1 foot you move, or something like that. Yeah.
I like that. That's nice.
Yeah. Another feat at 8, and more expertise at 9. Another subclass feature at 10, and then tireless at 11th. So instead of hide in plain sight, which gives you +10 to stealth checks as long as you're remaining in a place where you spent a minute camouflaging yourself, you get temp HP after a short or long rest, and you reduce exhaustion at the end of a short rest by 1 instead of a long rest. And the new version of exhaustion is I love it.
I was kind of seeing the new version of exhaustion. It doesn't look as punishing, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But it's easier to get it, I think, is what the issue was.
I think it's easier to get, but it's much longer. You get 10 instead of 5.
Yeah.
So, another feat, and then Nature's Veil has bonus action. Basically, you cast invisibility until the end of your next turn, rather than bonus action hide.
Bitch of a tree.
Yeah.
I came in the right time for there.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
No worries. Yeah.
Not the bad kind of duty that you have to clean up, though, right?
No, it was
good.
My daughter going, I've lost my iPad, so I went to go help look for it, and her mom had already had it on the counter. She didn't want to listen.
Doesn't want to listen to mom. Only dad can find it for her.
Yeah, well, I came out. She had it in her hand. She's like, oh. And I was like, oh.
But yeah, I was listening to WebDM, and Jim Davis is not too happy with how magical they've made the Ranger, giving them invisibility and stuff like that. He's upset, but I guess Ranger is his favorite class.
Rangers have always had magic. Why is giving them invisibility that far-fetched?
I think the fact that it's a magical feature, it's not giving them invisibility as a spell. It's they just become invisible. You're standing there and then you're invisible. And I think that's what's got him.
Spirits of nature. So
Yeah.
you'd be like, yo, hey, spirit tree.
Yeah.
Come hook me up, make me invisible. And all of a sudden you're a tree.
Yeah, but what if you're in a dungeon?
You go, hey.
You're invisible.
What? You go, or spirit. You know, the spirits that live in the earth? Make me look like a rock. And then you're invisible.
Well, first off, there's no rock spirits.
There's earth spirits. What are you talking about? There's 100% earth elementals.
Earth elementals, but no rock spirits. There's
You
earth
can't.
I will argue to the death. Rock spirits.
I see.
And I mean, with Vanish in the current one, you can't be tracked by non-magical means unless you choose to be.
So that's pretty much
that's still magical. So
that's WoW level shit too.
Yeah. But we're moving on to 15th. Moving feral senses up from 18 to 15. But instead of not getting disadvantage on attack rolls against a creature you can't see, and knowing the location of invisible creatures, as long as you're not blinded or deafened, it just gives you blind sight, which is basically exactly what you already have in regular feral senses.
That's kind of disappointing.
I don't know. It's basically the exact same thing to me.
You're able to sense something within 30 feet.
Yeah.
I like the trick shot around the corner. Ricochets.
Then another feat.
They feel like a vibration in the floor, a little wind, and they're like, there's something over there, right? For the most part.
No, blindsight is if you can't see.
Yeah, blindsight if you can't see. Oh, who disappeared?
Hey,
you did.
I did.
You did.
What's going on? Why did that happen? It's this one. There we go. I don't know why that happened. But yeah, blindsight is if you can't see, then you can see. Like if it's
blindsight.
Yeah. In pitch black, you can see.
Yeah. See, I don't like that. I've never liked that. It should be something like you know that something's there, not you exactly see it, I suppose.
No.
Well, that's kind of what it was before, right? It's just like, you know someone's around that corner, and now you have the ability to hit that person without disadvantage. So you know that you can ricochet it off the wall and hit them perfectly fine, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Versus just, oh no, now I can see no matter what.
I see everything everywhere within 30 feet of me.
Right.
And then Foe Slayer moves up. Foe Slayer, now it's disappointing that this is happening here. It's scaling up Hunter's Mark to 1d10 at 18th level.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What does it originally Hunter's Mark go
Or 1d6?
Originally, 1d6. And the original Foe Slayer you could add your wisdom modifier to the attack roll or damage roll of an attack against a favored enemy. That is so much better.
Give me a scaling hunter's mark. Just
exactly.
make it a class feature. Call it a day.
Yeah.
They don't like scaling stuff anymore, or they never have scaled stuff. This is
just not for the ranger. They haven't done it before.
No.
But usually they do sliding scales anyway, right?
Yeah.
Well, think of the bardic dice, right?
Yeah. And the rogue sneak attack that goes up. Yeah. But yeah, and then feat and epic boon. And then we've got our suggested spells, guidance, thorn whip. Guidance they made a change to, which I like the new version of guidance. So,
wasn't it just doubling your proficiency bonus?
No, it's made it into a reaction, and it can only be used on a creature once per long rest.
Oh, so
there's
just keep guiding somebody.
Exactly.
Right.
Like you guys do constantly. You're just constantly spamming guidance on one another. You'd
I'm
only
okay
be
with
able
that.
to do it once. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, I'm okay with that.
They also, I don't know if you'd call it buffed, but they made Barkskin. I like the new version of Barkskin as well. Instead of giving an AC floor like Mage Armor does with 15, I think Barkskin is minimum 12. Instead of doing that, it gives the creature you cast it on temporary HP, and if you upcast it, then you can give that temp HP to multiple creatures.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'd also be okay if it was just a flat AC increase. I always thought it was funny that these spells just gave a flat amount of AC instead of a flat amount of AC increase.
Like Mage Armor giving you +5 instead of giving you 15 minimum. That sort of thing.
Exactly. Because I mean, then it could be a difference between 15 and 17, right?
Exactly. And like a wizard with Mage Armor, he's still just as dexterous as he was before. He's still like moving out of the way just like he was before. It's just now he's got this force field around him, which, rather than having the AC floor, I do think that should be a bonus to AC.
Yeah, but then I'd like to see that with like a shorter term too, right? Because
instead of 8 hours.
Yeah, you get it for like 1 round or something like that, right?
I'd be okay with 1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute would be good because that's one combat.
It's pretty close to 1 combat.
Yeah.
Most combat encounters end within 10.
Yeah.
If you're having a combat encounter that goes longer than 10 rounds, you're probably fighting something pretty fucking big.
Yeah. And you're probably using other spells.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna have someone in front of you if you're fighting something that big.
Yeah, exactly. So then we move on to the Hunter subclass. So the Hunter's Prey at 3rd level. You get... when you hit with a weapon or unarmed strike as part of your attack action, you deal an extra 1d8 damage if it's missing hit points, and you can do that once per turn.
Well, here's your bear wrestling, dude.
That's true. That's true.
Like just bitch slapping him after you.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the part about us talking about Brad wanting a bear wrestling dude and proficiency in hand-to-hand combat.
That's true. what it originally was is you had a choice between Colossus Slayer, Giant Killer, or Horde Breaker, where Colossus Slayer did what this Hunter's Prey does to it's not even to a Colossus, it's just to any creature, but only with weapon attacks, not unarmed strikes in the old version. And then Giant Killer, larger creature, hits or misses you with an attack, you can use your reaction to counterattack. And then Horde Breaker, when you make a weapon attack, you can make another attack with the same weapon against a different creature within 5 feet of the original target. So, I don't know. Which do you prefer, having the choice or having the single thing?
The single thing in a heartbeat.
Yeah?
It's a D8 sneak attack.
I guess, yeah, that's true.
That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that you can deal this damage only once per turn. So you can do it once per turn. That's just a free D8 on things that you're hunting.
That's true.
It's a weapon attack or an unarmed strike.
Yeah.
Like, and it just makes sense too, because I think it also allows you not have to be a hunter to scope into rogue to get a sneak attack kind of thing. I don't know. That's what it feels like this subclass is kind of geared a little bit towards. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, or at least with that ability, it would be stealth hunting.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of hunting in general, isn't it? They wanna hide,
sneak up on your prey, and
Yeah. Okay, that's a good idea. Then it's 6th level. Instead of 7th, you get Hunter's Lore instead of Defensive Tactics. So, creature marked by your Hunter's Mark, you know whether it has immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities, and what they are, versus having a choice between Escape the Horde, Multi-Attack Defense, and Steel Will, which just, +4 to AC when you get hit, or opportunity attacks made with disadvantage, or advantage on saves against fright.
I'm sorry, I'm only hearing that this is a buffed class.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
As we continue to go through this, all I'm hearing is that they're just making this better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I understand that you're losing some kind of bonus there on this level, but you're also gaining the ability to know everything about your target. So if you're like, yo, hey, hit it up on a boss.
Yeah.
What's his vulnerabilities?
Exactly.
Oh, he's vulnerable to necrotic damage? Hey.
Isn't that the same thing as a monk, though? Monks can hit them and know everything about it as well.
Nope.
Not in current 5e, or at least not the one that I was.
Maybe I'm just thinking of some old critical role.
There might have been another one that there might be a monk that can do that.
It might be the Cobalt Soul, because that's what I think Marisha was playing.
Yeah, something she'd hit them and they'd be able to go.
Yeah, that's probably the Cobalt Soul, which is from the Critical Role source book.
Their own thing.
Yeah, okay. Their own book. So 11th level. What's that?
I said, I'm sorry, viewers. I get a lot of my stuff from Critical Role.
It's okay. It's a popular thing to reference.
Yeah, exactly. I started with I didn't start with Critical Role. I started with Roleplay, and then Acquisitions Inc., and then Critical Role.
I just straight up.
Check out Acquisitions Inc. Ah, man, I love that show.
If I had a little more time at work where I could listen to the stuff without getting in trouble, it'd be fantastic.
Right? So multi-attack at 10th level instead of 11. You used to get a choice, you don't anymore. Now you always have Conjure Barrage. You can cast it with first or second level spell slots, so you get to downcast it. So if you're casting it at first, you reduce the damage by 1d8 per slot level below third.
So what is Conjure Barrage? How many, what is the normal?
I think it's probably 3d8. Clear all, yes.
So I guess it just, you do 1d8 for first level, 2d8 for second, 3d8 for third, and it's normally third level spell?
It's normally third level and normally 3d8.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, so what it used to be, you had volley as an selection where you could use your action to make a ranged attack against any number of creatures within 10 feet of a point you can see within your weapon's range, and you have to have ammunition for each target and make a separate attack roll for each target. Or whirlwind attack, where you could use your action to make a melee attack against any number of creatures within 5 feet of you with a separate attack roll.
They should have just given it that. They should have kept it that.
Yeah. Given them volley. Given them both.
The only thing I can say is that, again, it just is trying to pull Ranger away from a melee class.
Yeah. And giving them volley is great. Give whirlwind attack to fighters and give volley to...
Yeah, this is also intended as a ranged hunter,
exactly.
So.
A ranged hunter. So giving them volley, that would be great. Mm-hmm. You're trying to, going with a hunter, and you're going with a hunter. The birds, the ducks get spooked, bunch of them fly out like in Duck Hunt, and you just bam, 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 bam.
Right.
Rather than Conjure Barrage, where you're firing one arrow and then it explodes into a bunch that go into a cone, and they have to make dex saves.
Yeah, that seems...
Yeah. I like volley much better.
I like it in concept. In concept, it's kind of the same, but in execution, volley sounds better.
Yeah.
Much better.
And then finally, Superior Hunter's Defense, which I think I think that's an oopsie, where you don't get Hunter's Defense originally, so why is this one superior?
I guess, right?
Because why the fuck not?
Yeah, I guess.
If you find an attack roll, you can use your reaction to half the damage.
Yeah.
And you can redirect the other half the damage to one creature other than the attacker you can see within 5 feet or so. So it's kind of like a parry, almost?
Yeah, kind of. It's half uncanny dodge and half parry.
I was gonna say, what's it called? This is the one where you light people on fire when they hit you.
Pyromania.
I don't know what spell I'm talking about. You've used a ridiculous amount sometimes.
Oh, Hellish Rebuke.
There we go. It's kind of like that.
Kind of. I think that's... I like this.
I like that too.
Yeah. It's better than all three of the other ones. Because, it's basically the third selection, which is Uncanny Dodge for the current version. But
give me that
it gives you extra... You can redirect half of the damage to another creature.
Yeah,
give me that at 10 instead.
Yeah. Or 6.
Oh wait, is that at 10? That's pretty high end to be doing half that damage going somewhere else when they want them to be less of a tank, right? More of a...
Evasion for rogues is at 7. So
Uncanny dodge for rogues is at first or second?
Yeah, so we're talking like evasion would basically like if you make a save, you just dodge all of the damage, right? Like so.
How many times can you use that in a row though? Can you just
every
it's a
round?
Proficiency modifier, like I think, yeah.
No, it's every round. You can just keep using it.
Yeah, evasion is just
use like uncanny dodge once a fight or something.
Yeah,
round.
uncanny dodge reduces the damage taken, right?
Yeah.
But no, we're talking about evasion, where it's a specific skill that rogues get, or well, you can take it as a feat, I think too. But yeah, where like an AOE attack like Fireball.
Yeah.
If you make the save against Fireball, you take 0 damage instead of taking half damage.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like, in this case, we're talking 14th level. You take half damage instead of taking full damage, and you get to direct the damage.
That's in the current version. That's at 15th level, and you do that except for redirecting half the damage. So
yeah, maybe they should have they have the Hunter's Defense somewhere else, right? Like 7, and then Superior would be better, right?
Yeah. You could do that.
Yeah, I mean,
I like
that would be getting rid of Hunter's lore, basically. Yeah.
I really like that one, though.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe not in this one.
Yeah. We're actually getting through this a lot faster than I thought we would.
It's interesting, like, cause what is that? I guess there's a range of like 19, 20 feet. Okay, all right. Never mind. I'm just getting past myself.
Scroll back up here. Find new follower. There we go. Let's move this down here so that I can actually see the next time we get someone following. There we go. Except that it didn't update, of course. Okay, well, on to the rogue. So, I don't think sneak attack... No, sneak attack didn't change. Yeah. That's basically all that you'd be looking at. Even the first level is exactly the same.
26, G6, yeah. Wow, wait, are we... Yeah, no. Bottom 10d6, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I guess I've just never gotten that high of a rogue before.
Yeah.
God damn.
What are you guys talking about? Bottom?
The sneak attack. 10d6 at 19th and 20th level.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, further down. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, rogue. Casually sneaking up in someone and just doing, I don't know, 30 extra damage just because.
Yeah. So...
It's like,
let's
haha,
see.
surprise, kidney shot, bitch. Stab.
Simple weapons, martial weapons that have finesse, which is basically what they're getting here, other than they were getting long swords before, but now they're not.
Makes sense, though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's
because you want
reasonable.
finesse
Yeah.
in order to get your
Finesse,
sneak
okay.
attack. And again, I think acrobatics, athletics, deception, insight, intimidation, investigation, perception, persuasion, sleight of hand, and stealth. Yeah, all the skills are the same. It's just suggesting for thieves' tools, of course. Light armor is the same. Starting equipment. Short sword instead of short sword or rapier. Burglar's pack instead of a choice. Yeah, it's all basically the same.
Yep. Just, it's here, have your character.
Exactly.
I'm much more content with that when it comes to like starting equipment.
Yeah.
Because it's just I don't want to sift through 5 options. Just give me something, because more than likely I'm gonna get rid of it soon.
Yeah.
You can complain about it, and then you can actually get something.
Yeah.
Or just keep what you have and forget about it.
Yeah.
Feel the same.
So expertise, same. Sneak attack, I don't think this has changed. Once on each turn, when you take attack action, you can deal the extra damage. If you're attacking with finesse or ranged, and one of these 2 things. So attack must use finesse or ranged, and if you have advantage, and you don't need advantage if the target is within 5 feet. So this is just basically making it simpler.
Clear.
Yeah. A simpler way to say it in more paragraphs. Basically. I think it's kind of just, I don't know, it looks like it would be
just clarifies
simpler.
it.
Yeah.
Just makes it clear. I'm okay with clear.
Exactly. And then Thieves' Cant, you are getting both Thieves' Cant and a second language, rather than just Thieves' Cant.
Why would you even need a second language?
Yeah.
It should be common and Thieves' Cant.
Like, there's not really a reason to be getting
up Undercommon living in the slums.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, they speak a bunch of different languages, right?
Yeah, standard or rare, which are in the original one. I gotta scroll down quite a bit to get to the languages, I think. Yeah. Which is any language. Why do they even say standard or rare? Any language.
Right?
Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Then cunning action is the same. Bonus action dash disengage or hide. Roguish archetype, rogue subclass, same thing. Feat, roguish archetype.
Archetype, okay.
Yeah, that's what it's called in the current version. Then uncanny dodge at 5th is the same. Expertise is moving down 1 level because of the subclass feature. Don't know if you've noticed, but subclass features are all standardized now. The same 4 levels, and they're all getting 4 instead of some getting 5, some getting 3.
That's nice.
Yeah. Everyone knows that they're getting a subclass feature at the same time.
Yeah. I think it balances out the power across the classes a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as bad when there's some power drops.
Yeah.
The only problem that I've been seeing, I guess, is that if they are evening out characters like this, I think they're probably looking at nerfing high-end stuff, so I hope they allow things to scale better.
Yeah. More scaling. Scaling is good.
Evasion's at 9. Maybe I was misremembering it. Maybe evasion does sit at 9.
Nope. Evasion is 7 in the current version, so they're dropping that by 2 levels.
See, that's how strong it is.
Yeah.
They had to put it 2 levels higher.
Yep. Then we've got Feat and subclass feature and reliable talent, which I think they just copy pasted the. It looks like they just copy pasted the current version, so that's not changing.
Yeah. The other part I forgot about evasion is you only take half damage if you do fail.
Yep.
Oh, look at that.
So Feat again, and then subtle strikes is new. You know how to exploit target's distraction. You have advantage on attack roll that targets a creature within 5 feet of one of your allies who isn't incapacitated. So it's just...
So is that like, you're getting like pack tactics all the time here?
Basically, yeah. That is giving you pack tactics.
Pretty cool. Yep.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that, and I mean it just allowed. Hey, look, another very easy avenue to proc your sneak attack.
Exactly. And they got rid of blind sense.
Meh.
But now you get slippery mind. Actually, slippery mind, same level. Proficiency in wisdom saving throws. This is actually adding charisma saving throws as well.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice little buff.
Feat, and then
elusive is crazy.
Elusive, yeah.
That's really good. What that roll is against you while you aren't incapacitated.
Yeah, and that's the same. It's just moving up one level because of the way that they're doing things now.
That's nice.
That's crazy good, eh?
Yeah. Capstone, Stroke of Luck. So if you fail a d20 test, if your attack misses target, or if an ability check. So this is basically, all this is doing is adding saving throws. So Pat, you didn't read the old, the last month's playtest package, and you weren't in that one with us. When you look at the words D20 test, what does that say to you?
That's just, to me, it means you roll 2 D20s and you pick which one you want. Like if you do a D20 test, that's what I see here.
See,
like you have a, so you'd roll a D20 and you're like, that was a test, kind of like a mulligan in golf, right? That's what I kind of feel it is, but I don't know if that's the way it's being used.
That is not the way it's being used.
Well,
the way it's being used is anytime you roll a d20, basically. It's attack roll, ability check, or saving throw is what a d20 test is.
So that's just a d20 test is just rolling a d20.
Just when you roll a d20.
Yeah.
Why do they put the test in it? Why not just you fail a d20?
D20 roll, right?
I don't know.
This makes no sense to me.
I think I said that multiple times in the survey for the last months, because D20 test, I knew that someone who hasn't read the glossary wouldn't know that that's what it means.
I would just, like, to me, I just assume, if it's a test, you're trying it out, right?
Yeah.
It's a practice roll, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, they should really change that.
And I mean, I'm sure that a new player would think fairly similar thing. They wouldn't immediately go to rolling a d20.
I just don't see the point in changing the vernacular. It's been like that for a while.
Yeah.
Roll a d20.
Somebody new has got their hands on it, and everybody, whenever you get into a new job with management and stuff like that, they have to go and they have to put their own stamp on it to make it seem like they
just like Alberta Health. You know how much money they have to spend every time there's a new person running Alberta Health? They have to change all of the letterhead, because most times there's a new person running Alberta Health. They change the name of Alberta Health.
Right? Like, you got to put your stamp on it. Great.
Yep.
That works. Great. You just confuse people. Why not just
waste of money. They were wasting so much money. Back at it was when H1N1 happened. I was working security, and I was talking to a nurse who was telling me, like, they just changed the name, and it's cost millions of dollars just to change the letterhead. and we're throwing out all this paper. They're not even shredding it. They're just throwing it out.
Just tossing it.
Like, yeah. Anyway, Feat and Epic Boon.
Give me my boon, bitch. That would, if I hit 20, that would be the exact words out of my mouth.
What?
Not gonna lie.
Epic
Give me
boon,
my
bitch?
boon, bitch. If I hit 20. Because that'd be a long campaign, and that'd probably be one of the most, like, insane, like, grueling things that we'd probably have to do through.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, you guys tend to do a lot of multi-classing. I think this is the first time that Ryan hasn't multi-classed.
Like I say, we're talking like reality bending spell level shit is what we're gonna be at if we hit 20th level.
Yeah. So going on to the
wish spell by that point.
Yeah, wish. Yeah.
If we could ever come across H.H. Holmes, you might find some guy like that. He'd have a boon by now, I guess.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, like, from my understanding, 20th level characters are actually, like, very incredibly rare. Like, I think the implication is like, even the most powerful wizards that are alive right now in the thing are not 20th level.
Mordenkainen and Elminster are supposed to not be 20th level, even though they are the most powerful spellcasters.
They're almost demi-humans, because that's how powerful of spellcasters they are, and they're still not 20th level.
Yeah. I think... shit, what's her name? Laryl Silverhand. You guys met her. She was in... she was the leader of Waterdeep. She is literally the avatar of a god, and she's not a 20th level wizard.
That's because of how good she is. She doesn't need to be level 20.
She's like, she is.
That's great. Yeah.
Like, the avatar of a god in D&D is literally the god in humanoid form.
Yeah, they're kind of like a. They're playable character for Sims.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much.
And
so
she's like a 12th level wizard in that. Like, not very powerful.
So I imagine that one I heard about on the news or on TV or whatever, that one D&D game that's been going on for like 20 years.
Oh yeah.
And they're probably level 20.
Not if they've been playing the same campaign. They're probably not at level 20 yet.
My god. How long does it take to get to level 20? 20 years?
These are things, like, to get to 20th level, you're required to essentially kill a god.
Oh, easy.
Like
20th level is like 350,000 experience points.
Well, like I'm not even trying to like put an experience points
number
on it. Like I'm trying to like put it like
you are
relatively in
able to
perspective,
kill
like,
a god at 20th level.
Yeah.
Technically. Typically.
If you're a typical 20th level bard, you kill gods.
If you hit 20th level, you're the reason why there are no level 11 or 10 and 11 spells. Yeah. Like, those are the wizards that fucked with the weave at one point, and like, yeah. Those are just levels that don't really exist anymore.
Exactly.
So I can appreciate moving the capstones down to 18. Because it gives, I don't want to say realistic like your average campaign, let's be honest here, is not going to hit level 18. But I mean, it's more realistic that you can play a campaign through, you know, two or three campaign stories, right? Yeah. And you can hit 18 because you've done all these epic adventures across the continent, right? You know, like slay dragons, defeat entire cults, you know, this kind of shit, right? Like, you'd be pretty famous by that point, and justifiably like an 18th level character, right? So giving you your capstone at 18 feels at least a lot more achievable and a lot more better. Yeah. In my opinion.
So, on to the thief with fast hands. Currently,
Bitch, I'm gonna take your shit.
You can make a sleight of hand, disarm a trap, open a lock, or use an object as a bonus action. And this is adding the search action, which is a new type of action.
I sure had some fun with that pickpocket on that one campaign.
Oh yeah.
I stole Lich's book.
Lich's spellbook, yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. And then my character literally got his brain turned into mush for a couple months.
Yep, feeble-minded.
Yes.
So the search action. When you take the search action, you make a wisdom check to discern something that isn't obvious. The search table suggests which skills are applicable depending on what you're trying to detect. And yeah, insight, medicine, perception, survival. So you can use a bonus action to do that instead of an action. This is way down on page 36 if you're trying to find it.
Yeah, I was like really confused there.
Yeah.
I was like, where the fuck is this?
I had to scroll quite a bit to get to it.
This almost feels like it's bringing in like a check to see if you is that something you could think you could use to search for a creature's weakness or something like that, right? Because it did say search for a creature's state of mind or whatever, right? So
yeah, but that's technically all insight is. Problem is, how do you gauge something's insight when you don't know anything about that creature?
Yeah.
Right?
It'd be just a gut feeling.
Yeah.
I feel like you're lying to me. That's all I see insight is.
So third level is second story work. You gain climb speed, which is much better. Although that's kind of technically what second story work is. Climbing no longer costs extra movement. And then jump distance, you can use dexterity instead of strength to make a jump, which is basically the same. Jump another feet equal to your dex modifier. Yeah, it's basically the same. Supreme Sneak is moving up from 9th level to 6th. So advantage on stealth checks, as long as you're not wearing medium or heavy, rather than if you if you move no more than half your speed. So that makes sense. And then use magic device, moving up from 13th.
That is my favorite thing, and I wish it became sooner, and so I'm glad that it is now.
The use magic device thing?
Yeah.
It reminds me of like that, not Drizzt Druid and the other guy. We had him in that campaign for a bit. What was his name? He had the crystal.
Oh, Jarlaxle.
Jarlaxle, yeah, that's what I think of when I see that, when you've got all the magical items on you.
Yeah.
And you're using them all. Oh yeah. R.A. Salvador, right?
Yes, Salvatore, yeah. So instead of just ignore class, race, and level requirements, you get one more attunement slot. You can roll a d6 to hopefully not expend a charge on a magic item that has charges, and you can use any spell scroll, first level or lower, And if it's higher than first level, then you make an Arcana check. Yeah. That's
the spell's level.
Yeah.
Arcana.
That's
That
basically
can
what
be
a... What's that?
interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I'm
what
just-
a
no, just-
wizard normally does, so...
Yeah, no, I just really like that ability.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about how like much easier it is, and like, say you end up making an arcane trickster rogue. Oh, hey, look! All of a sudden you're like +7 or 8 to using a magical device that you might not normally be able to, or a scroll. That'd be like, hey, surprise! Here's something that I normally couldn't do. Have a firewall.
Ooh.
Well, this is a thief, not an arcane trickster.
Seen. I didn't realize we were in the subclass. I thought,
Yeah,
I thought we were
sorry.
still in the overarching rogues.
No.
No, that was my good. My bad. I understand. I still like it though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then Thief's Reflexes. Take a bonus action, provided is cunning action. You can take a second. So, yeah, you can take 2 bonus actions as long as one of them is cunning action. Rather than taking
basically
2 turns on the first round of combat. So, 2 bonus.
I'll take the extra cunning action every turn.
Yeah. Rather
Because
than
that's
you take your
a free disengage.
exactly. And you take your rather than you take your first turn at your normal initiative and your second turn at initiative -10.
Yeah, no,
Yeah. This makes more sense. Way more sense.
like the thief making a get like the thief having this step on someone to make a getaway or something like that. Sure, first round of combat, it kind of makes sense, but I don't know. I just like this. It just feels like so much there's no trough to it. Like it's just your first
and
turn
I mean,
is so much more powerful than all your other turns, whereas this just like
you could cunning action plus cunning action, so you could disengage and then dash.
yeah.
Just get the fuck out.
Yeah. So Bard and Ranger spells. Okay. We don't need that anymore. So let's just hide that extra window because we're moving into Feats. I suppose I could get
Give
Feats up
me
actually.
more feats. Always. I always want more feats. I will say that every time.
Let's go to Game Rules Feats. So they are taking away the increase to your score for all of these feats because that's now just in the ability score improvement. But yeah.
Oh wait, never mind. I misunderstood what you were saying. That's okay.
So
I thought what you were saying. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say what I thought you were saying was they took all of the ability score improvements out of all of the other feats. So like athlete, right, where you get +1 con or strength.
Actually,
right?
yeah. These do still get them. I thought they took them away. Never mind.
No. Yeah, that's what I thought you were saying. I was like, oh, that's
what I was saying, and then I just noticed that no, I was wrong.
Yeah, no, that would just be ugh.
These are basically the same. They are doing prerequisites for most feats now, though.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Stuff like here, proficiency with martial weapons to be a charger.
Yeah.
Normally, there's nothing on there. You just dash, and then you can bonus action shove. Yeah. So here, instead, your dash gets an extra 10. Actually, that's the same. But you do deal extra damage if you hit.
Yeah, or push the target up to 10. So yeah, you can do extra damage or push the target up to 10 feet.
Yeah. Crossbow expert. Ooh, actually,
Pew.
dual wielding. Does that?
Pew pew pew.
Yeah, crossbow expert lets you dual wield now, which you couldn't do before. But then this one has another one of those oopsies. You can be proficient with longsword, but not crossbow, and still take crossbow expert.
Huh.
Yeah.
Where does it say that?
Proficiency with any martial weapon.
Crossbow isn't considered a martial weapon. I think. Is that correct? Did they change it? Or did they change it?
The light crossbow is simple, but all the other crossbows are martial.
So, yeah, interesting. Oh, that'd still be fun though.
Yeah.
You can just dual wield crossbows.
Yeah, I know.
Finger crossbows.
Defensive duelist. This is the first one that actually has a prerequisite in the PHB. Same prereq, but now it is giving an ASI, which it didn't before, and lets you parry. Yeah. And dual wielding is basically the same. I mean, I don't think they've added any this time.
No, I think they're just clarifying a lot of the stuff.
Yeah. But here, defy death on durable. Advantage on death
nice.
saves. Not something that you got before.
Oh no, yeah, no. But I was thinking of something else for durable, I think.
Used to be Constitution modifier. The minimum number of hit points you regain from rolling a hit die is twice your con mod. Minimum 2. Instead, you roll twice and yeah.
Like minimum, like on average, any class you're playing.
No, you can speedy recovery. You can roll a hit die as a bonus action.
Yep. I was gonna say, but no, I'm just like, if you're building any con class, that's like minimum 4, if not 6, right?
Yeah.
2 times your con.
Yeah. Or you take this and in battle, you're not doing well, you take a bonus action to roll one of your hit dice.
Yep. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's like the 1 feat that the fighters get.
Yes, that's
I can't think.
I can never remember what it's called.
Second wind.
Second wind, that's it. Should remember that. That's from 4th edition. The edition I didn't play, because 5th was my first edition, but still.
I've dabbled in 3.5 because I played a video game that was based off of it.
Yeah.
Neverwinter Nights. If you played Neverwinter Nights, that's 3.5.
I've played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and Planescape, which are all AD&D.
Oh, damn, that's funny.
Yeah, Thaco. Like, fuck. Fucking Thaco. Always confused me. I remember the first time I played it at your place, Pat. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I've got an AC of 20, but they keep hitting me so easily. I don't know how old I was, but I remember being so pissed off about that. Poor Minsk got his ass handed to him. And I don't think Elemental Adept is really changing too much, other than no, prereq is pretty much the same as well. And then we get the epic boons, which we've already taken a quick look at. They're all
dimensional travel.
Yeah, Misty Step without expending a spell slot. Fortitude, epic boon of Fortitude, increases your max HP by 40.
Just get ripped.
Yeah.
My 6-pack has a 6-pack.
Epic boon of Recovery.
Resistance offense, eh? Damage you deal always ignores resistance.
Yeah.
But who's getting to the 20th level, you said? So we got all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And epic boon of Recovery, as a bonus action, you regain half of your hit point maximum.
Yeah, that's nice.
So you just suddenly heal again.
Yep. Skill proficiency, you gain proficiency in all skills.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Just give me, just any character, give me that. I want that, please. Just, yes. Because by that point, it's a, what, plus, what's your proficiency at 20th level? Plus 8?
Plus 5.
Is it only plus 5? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The church was that low.
Yeah. Each tier goes up by 1, starting at 2. There's 4 tiers, so... so it should be plus 6 then. 2 plus 4. But no, it starts at 1, so 2 plus 3. It's 5.
Okay.
Then the fighting styles, it's only got the PHB fighting styles. So it doesn't have the unarmed fighter. But... Or Tavern Brawl.
Well, again, it just might... Like, I thought... This
Tavern
is
Brawl
my
is a feat.
understanding.
You said it doesn't have the unarmed fighter. It's got the grappler. I guess it's a level 4.
This is it, yeah.
Yep. But I thought this was in addition to, or a rewriting of all prior rules. So if it wasn't included in here, it is still technically
Yeah.
written as
It's in 5th, yeah.
So this is like my understanding of this is like a 5.5.
Yeah. Currently, it is basically 5.5.
But they're just gonna call it D&D 1, so they can just continue to revise it and go from there,
Yeah.
and not have to continue to change the name.
Well, that's what they said with 5th edition. It was D&D next,
yeah.
and they were like, when this next edition comes out, it's just D&D. And then, what was it? After the first product, 5th edition D&D. So, it didn't take them long to go back on that. I don't think it'll take them long to go back on this.
The people will probably call this 5.5.
Yeah. Because it's backward compatible, they'll call it 5.5. Or it's supposed to be backward compatible. And then, yeah, Great Weapon Master, Inspiring Leader. Gives you a bunch of temp HP to other creatures. Which is the same. Only instead of your level plus charisma, it's 2d4 plus proficiency. Give me a moment here while I fill up my drink with the very, very bad shit that I shouldn't be drinking, because all this sugar is going to give me diabetes one of these days.
That's our next sponsor, Coke.
Yep.
Coke Zero. Right? No, with zero sugar.
Coke Zero, I can still taste the aspartame. I don't like it.
Okay.
Isn't there some other Cokes out there that are like that? Cokes, I swear there's something a new one.
I don't know. I just remember Jolt Cola that I loved so much, and then they went out of business.
What? Oh, God.
Oh, I loved Jolt Cola.
That was just sugar in water.
Yeah, it was...
That's all it was.
Caffeine and sugar in a little bit of water. Yeah. And it was so good. My dad used to sell that shit.
Syrup.
He used to sell it to like he used to work for a distributor in Canada, so he would sell it throughout Alberta.
Cool.
And Orbits. He used to distribute Orbits.
That was good. I never got it too often, but when I did, I don't know why.
Oh yeah. We had
memories of Orbits.
Because he worked for the distributor, we had a fridge in the basement full of Orbits. every flavor of Orbits, every flavor of Jones soda as well.
Nice.
Oh.
I guess there's some pretty good benefits to being a salesman, eh?
Yeah. Until the company went out of business, so I remember the weekend that we went over there and we went to the warehouse and spent the entire day emptying expired pop into the toilets and sinks. Like taking an entire flat, opening every single one, and then just upending it into the sink. Yeah.
Cool. That'd almost be satisfying though.
Yeah. It didn't fizz very much though, because it was all that expired. His boss was not a very good businessman.
Clearly.
So...
Oh, I know.
Keen mind, intelligence, lore knowledge. Well, that's good. It's replacing you always know which way is north. Good night.
Good night.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Take study action as a bonus action, and you get proficiency or expertise in one of those skills. Rather than always know which way is north, the number of hours left before sunrise or sunset, and can recall anything you have seen or heard within the past month, which was a total bitch in the last campaign.
I mean, yeah, as long as you're not...
Pat always took like keen mind, and fuck, I can't remember. Why are you asking me? You should have wrote it down.
Yeah. And that's where it should have been the case. I was like, yeah, it's a keen mind if you remember to write your fucking shit down.
Yeah.
But honestly, my notes from this campaign are a fucking mess.
I've looked at people's notes. There's not much. Foster. I liked Foster's the only time that he wrote notes. He wrote an in-character letter to his character's son, which was awesome. Yeah. I loved that. So, proficiency with light armor, or you gain light, medium, and shield. So that's better. I mean, I don't really know what there is to say about the feats. I haven't come across one that's worse. It's either the same or better.
Yeah. I don't think... Oh, excuse me. I think the feats that needed to be adjusted have already been adjusted, so most of these are probably just clarifying wordings.
Yeah. And, like, making them...
and adding the requirements, I guess.
Yeah, the prereqs to every single one. Either no or martial weapon, medium armor, intelligence,
repeatable.
yada yada yada.
Yeah. So, that's good.
Yeah. Sharpshooter. Yeah. Firing in melee, long shot, bypass cover. It's just a different wording for sharpshooter. But essentially the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's pretty dope about.
Although sharpshooter does give a dex increase, which it doesn't
nice.
currently. So.
All right, so we were talking about orbits.
Yes, orbits so good.
So it looks like all of the feats now give some kind of ability score increase.
Yeah. That's probably what I was thinking
small.
before. All of them get it, none of them get it.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it feels so much better to get that. If you roll like a 15, you're just like, give me the +1. So
Yeah.
Please. And not have to sacrifice a feat for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All they've given in this one are 4th level feats, but they are going to have separate level feats, well, other than the boons. So they've given 20th level and 4th level.
That's fair.
But Speedster is actually a new one. So Dexter-Con 13 plus. Increase your Dexter-Con by 1. Speed increases by 10 feet when you're not wearing heavy armor. And you can dash over difficult terrain without taking extra movement. So.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. I think that's the only new one.
I didn't realize that that's necessarily new, but it's probably just it's a quality of life feat if you want it.
Exactly.
Where's the Speedster?
Speedster is
gone
on
already. It's Sonic.
23rd.
23rd. So I got
Page 23.
Oh, there we go. Right under Skulker.
Yeah. And weapon training. Is that just Weapon Master? For weapons or... Okay, so...
Game.
Martial weapon instead of simple or martial weapon. So all martial weapons instead of 4 simple or martial weapons of your choice. So basically better.
Yeah.
And then they've got the whole spell list. Like I was saying before, everyone can cast rituals now as rituals. And some of them, the ones with an asterisk here, like Dancing Lights, are changing their spell schools. Dancing Lights used to be Evocation.
No, it's Illusion.
Yeah. Blindness, Deafness was Abjuration, and now it's Transmutation.
What's the difference between like Evocation and Illusion? Illusion's just like it's an illusion, but Evocation is...
Evocation is Fireball.
Oh yeah, so you're actually bringing something into it.
So you're making energy.
Just an illusion. Okay,
rather than an illusion. So Dancing Lights, you're making 5 little lights. Evocation, you are making fire or lightning or acid or something like that. And actually, Acid Splash is Conjuration, so basically mostly fire.
Interesting, eh?
Yeah, Firebolt is Evocation.
Sending
Hellish.
divination now.
Yeah.
Magic Missile is Evocation.
Yeah.
Shatter is Transmute.
Yeah, Transmutation. Changing the
Properties of it, I guess.
the properties of a person or thing. This one, You two bards loving your cloud of daggers, but it's a conjuration spell, so now with bards only getting those 4 schools of magic, they wouldn't get this until they got to 10th level.
See, I'm okay with that.
See, it takes the offensive bard a little bit away.
Yeah. Is there? I don't think there are any. Yeah, there wouldn't be any offensive spells in there other than stuff like Vicious Mockery. So some of the enchantment spells, I suppose, would be doing it. Did that say
this one? Delayed Blast Fireball?
Delayed Blast Fireball? Yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
Bard is where's spellcasting? Divination, enchantment, illusion, or transmutation. So yeah, it's not.
I'm gonna put a fireball right there. Point and make it appear like
just sitting there, right?
30 feet in front of them, so they run into it, and then just explodes. And then just nothing happens. Like, I guess I lied.
Yeah. And then 2 seconds later, boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you do get. They would still get Thunderwave because that is transmutation.
Yeah, it's better than a kick in the teeth, right?
Yeah. Let me just check because I want to make sure.
So what were the 4 schools again?
Divination, enchantment, illusion, and transmutation. So them changing Thunderwave to transmutation is still giving the bard some offensive spells.
Self-peel. No, it's a self-peel spell.
So what?
It's a self-peel spell.
Self-peel spell?
Yeah. It's an offensive spell.
Yeah.
Because it's around you, right?
Exactly.
It's all it's typically all creatures, so you end up hitting your friends, and you normally don't want to do that.
Yeah. So I want to open up all spells. What was Flaming Sphere before? I think it was Conjuration.
Probably.
Yes, Conjuration. So conjuring conjuring a ball of fire, a sphere of fire instead of a fireball, or evocation like every other fire spell.
You're now invoking a ball of fire.
Yeah. There's a bunch of these that are changing, but glibness to enchantment. From transmutation. Why would that be transmutation? When you make a charisma check, you can replace the number you roll with a 15. Why would that be transmutation? That is just...
question. It seems like that's a good question why it's been changed.
Yeah, I mean there are quite a few. When we get into divination here, all of the healing spells used to be evocation, were they?
Yeah, they used to be something weird.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, why aren't they divination? You're healing people.
Yeah. So they used to be evocation, now they're abjuration. And
I guess that's okay.
Give an idea of what that means, because I'm assuming Pat has no idea and I do have some...
It's always nice to get explanations.
Exactly.
A little bit of things here and there.
So schools, abjuration spells are protective in nature, though some of them have aggressive uses. Create magical barriers, negate harmful effects, harm trespassers, or banish creatures to other planes of existence. So, Abjuration are protective spells.
Okay.
And that makes sense to make them healing. Rather than Evocation, which manipulate magical energy to produce a desired effect. Call a blast of fire or lightning. So, yeah.
If you're manipulating energy for a desired effect, like you could be that. Technically, would be you could do that for healing, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know, one's or not defensive, but
exactly. And I mean, the wording for that school of magic is because others channel positive energy to heal wounds, because that's what the healing spells used to be. So I think the wording for it is like that because of that.
Which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's all good.
Mass Cure Wounds, and then we get into Primal spells, which all make sense. Earthquake, I think, used to be Evocation, now it's Transmutation. Power Word Heal, moving as the other ones did. Oh, Reincarnate. What was Reincarnate?
Well, it's
Divination.
Transmutation before, and now it's Necromancy.
So what's transmutation again? You're changing one energy to a different thing?
Change the properties of a creature, object, or environment.
Technically,
yeah.
Technically, kind of, but more necromancy. You bring them back to life.
Exactly. Manipulate the energies of life and death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even that old wording is telling you exactly what reincarnate is.
Yeah.
And true resurrection was necromancy before, and it didn't change. So resurrection was necromancy, but reincarnate was not. So now they're both necromancy. I'm on page 29.
I guess technically reincarnate, if you're, like the last one, you're changing it from one to another, because that's technically what it was. Anyway, weird.
Yeah. And then, going off my screen. Rules glossary. So I did see people complaining about DCs being listed in here, which they shouldn't be, but I think the DCs are there for the DMs using this playtest package, not for the players.
No.
For the players, because you're not going to know that you're coming into a role and it's going to be difficult or not, right?
Yeah.
And this is, we're also talking typical difficulty classes. This is supposed to give you an idea on what it's going to be, right?
Yeah.
So, like, it gives you an idea of what you need to roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, it's impossible. You're going to need a 30 plus.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Impossible, and it's a 5.
Rules is written. I think the only way to get a 30 is like a crit 20 plus. I don't know if you have more than plus 10 anywhere.
Right.
Well,
I mean, you could get pretty buffed through it, actually.
Pat, you didn't listen to campaign 1 of Critical Role, did you?
No,
just 2.
It was so. Just 2. I was trying to listen to it, and it was like the sound and all that stuff was all fucked up. It was really hard.
Yeah, for the first bit of it is. So yeah, very early on, I think by the time they were like level 10 or 11, Liam as Vax was rolling over 30 constantly. Just
Jesus,
consistently.
Right? So everything's 100%. He's getting
His,
awesome.
like, anytime he's got something to do, he's like rolling stealth or he's rolling thieves tools, he's getting like 35, shit like that. He was so good at that shit. So it's not impossible. I mean, even you and Dylan at the beginning of this campaign, you guys were getting over 20. Like, you're rolling a 12 and you're getting over 20 just because of the way you guys have made your characters.
You couldn't win. There was no winning against Dylan there.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. He had that.
Get like a near perfect roll. Yeah, just to beat him on his, without him rolling.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So that's where nearly impossible isn't nearly impossible.
Well,
I guess technically it's
possible in a very niche circumstance
Yeah.
because you built your character to be that specifically good at that specific thing.
Yeah.
That vouches for being nearly possible.
Yeah.
Because not everybody has a party member that is that specifically
That's true.
min-maxed to do something. The biggest thing that I always see that parties miss are things like religion.
Oh yeah.
Is
int.
And just, yeah. Right, and religion being int is so dumb because clerics are not based on int.
Yeah. I understand in the one case because religion is based on memorizing stuff, but at the same time it's a main skill for a cleric, and a cleric isn't based on int, like you said.
Give me int clerics. Just rearrange it. Just give
you know
me
what?
Clerics.
What I really want them to do, at the very least for the sorcerer, if not sorcerer, cleric, and warlock, is make the spellcasting ability a choice. Give the sorcerer either charisma or con, because it's coming from within them. Give the cleric int or whiz. Give the warlock int or charisma.
That makes more sense, right?
Yeah.
They can have the choice of one or two, right?
Yeah. And they work together like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with. Yeah, that'd be good.
But I don't know if they're gonna do that. I doubt they'll do that. They like to go with what D&D has always done rather than sometimes innovating on some of that stuff.
But that's okay. Like there
It
needs
is,
to be some core D&D. You can't change the core of D&D.
You can't reinvent the wheel all the time. That's true.
No. And those ability scores are the core of D&D, right? So,
yeah. But at the same time, like making it fit them better, fit the classes better, I think is a good idea as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm okay with how they are. Well, like except for the cleric. Like a cleric should be int. If religion's gonna be int, a cleric gets to be int, or change, fucking religion to whatever else.
Yeah.
Wisdom.
And sorcerer, like nothing uses con other than HP, and sorcerers get their magic from inside them. I don't know why con isn't their spellcasting ability, other than it always used to be charisma.
That would be a neat concept just in in and itself is a constitution-based caster.
Yeah.
Couldn't it be like will either to you? Because like your strength of the will inside of you and stuff.
Exactly. That's why I think it should be a choice of either one.
Yeah.
To be fair, that is a constitution caster was what I played that necromancer. In
Yes.
Chult, if you don't remember.
Yeah.
That was
Chult.
pretty close to a constitution caster because there's a lot of using people's body parts.
Yeah.
Using con stuff. And leeching my own blood into doing shit with it.
That was a really neat class.
It was.
I can't wait for D&D Beyond to get their generic feature system so that they can finally open up homebrew classes, because I would like to bring that class back. I liked that
homebrew
class.
Classes are rough, but
yeah.
That one was fun.
That one was good, and it seemed fairly balanced, at least for the one subclass.
Yep.
In case anyone wants to look it up, I don't know where to find it. It was the Necromancer on D&D or DM's Guild, but there's about a dozen of them now. I can't find it. I've looked. I can't find it anymore.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah. But we've got armor training, them telling us why it's armor training now, rather than armor proficiency. Artisan's Tools is just saying everything costs 15 gold instead of whatever's in the PHB.
Just all tools are a standard cost.
Yeah, all tools are a standard cost.
Good.
Attack action is telling you can equip or unequip one weapon for during an attack action, even if it's with an unarmed strike. Any attack you make as part of the attack action. So you've got extra attack, so you're making 2 attacks. It's the same action, so you can pull out the one weapon, stab, put it back, punch. Technically.
Or is that like if you move on your turn, you can use some or all of that movement to move between the attacks of this action if you have that feature system like that. Give you more than one attack as part of the attack.
Yeah.
Okay. So that doesn't mean like as I'm going past somebody I can slash him and then go to the next guy and stab him.
That's exactly what that means. If you've got extra attack.
So that I can attack somebody else is what I'm saying. So as I'm going, I get into the guy's range, hit him, and as I'm hitting him and going through his range to the next guy.
Yes.
Moving on to the next guy.
Unless you have a specific feat, you would get an attack of opportunity against you in that case, though.
Yeah, so say if you kill guy A 10 feet away from guy B, you could go and make your first attack against guy A. He dies, and you're like, oh, well, I have a second attack. Well, now I can walk 10 feet. Yeah, you can walk 10 feet over and kill guy B.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what that's saying.
What's that?
I was gonna say that's basically all of what Golomov was built on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking pounded people.
Just
especially once
dancing between targets and being nimble, and oh my god, how fucking poetic is his death being frozen.
Yeah.
Fuck, eh? Like,
so arcane spells, drawing on the ambient magic of the multiverse. Bark skin, here's the new version. Touch one willing creature to protect it with regenerating bark. Until the spell ends, target's skin assumes a bark-like appearance. And at the start of each of the target's turns, the target gains a number of temp HP equal to your spellcasting ability modifier plus your proficiency bonus. And when you cast it using a spell slot of 3rd or higher, you can target one additional creature for each slot above 2nd. It is still concentration.
Still like it.
Yeah.
Because we're talking like 5 temp HP per turn. on average. I mean, like.
Yeah, spellcasting ability modifier. So
too.
basically, technically max 10 and minimum 2.
Yeah. I'd like to see a little more power in that, but
yeah,
that's okay.
Like a die roll, maybe.
But the problem is that it's at the beginning of every turn, right? So it implies.
Oh, that's true. You'd have to keep rolling, yeah.
And that's just like. So.
Plus double your proficiency bonus.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Blind sight and climb speed.
Or double your spellcasting modifier would be better, I think.
Maybe, yeah. And then that would still be getting technically, basically max 10.
Yeah. No, I mean double your spellcasting modifier plus your proficiency bonus. But and then I'm realizing how front loaded that is.
Yeah.
Because you'd get 4 to 10, you're looking at like 10 early levels, but like later you're not getting anything else.
Yeah.
You're not getting much more.
Yeah. So double proficiency bonus would give you the extra 5 at the end.
Would give you
basically.
better scaling. Yes,
yeah.
Would give you better scaling versus being front loaded if you gave the.
Yeah. So D20 tests, here is where you have to get to page 31 to find out that the D20 test doesn't mean you roll 2, get a mulligan. It's for ability checks, attack rolls, and saving throws. So, yeah. And now this is the new version for inspiration. When you roll a 1 on a D20 roll, you get heroic inspiration. Yeah. I still don't like inspiration. The 2 or 3 times that we've tried using it in game, no one remembered.
What does it mean?
Well, it's a lot easier to remember because you can mark it on your sheet now.
That's true.
Whenever a player rolls a 1, the character gains heroic inspiration.
So
what does that mean?
Inspiration, you get a D20 that you can use at any time.
Right.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
For screwing up, it's a critical fail though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why would you get heroic inspiration for a critical fail?
I think the idea behind it is you fucked up, so you are wanting to do better next time.
You're owed 1.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's just giving that too much.
Yeah.
No.
In the previous playtest, it was anytime you roll a 20.
You get another 20.
Yeah.
A 20 is fair.
Yeah. I still don't like... I don't like inspiration. It's too difficult for me to remember. It's too difficult for you guys to remember. I guess you do have the thing on your sheet now, but...
So wouldn't you have like the opportunity then, like you roll a 1 and then next time I want to roll both my D20s or whatever?
Yeah, you can use it at any time.
Then you get two
and you can give it to someone else.
Yeah, it's too much. That's too much going on, right?
Yeah. So divine spells, drawing on the power of gods and outer planes. Now it's just clerics and paladins, rangers, and in base 5e, rangers and druids are divine casters. Technically, they don't have divine spells, but they're divine casters. So I like that this is separated with the primal spell list. And then the new version of Exhausted, like I said, I really like this. You experience the following effects. Condition is cumulative. Each time you receive it, you gain 1 level of exhaustion. You die if your exhaustion level exceeds 10. D20 rolls, when you make a D20 test, you subtract your exhaustion level from the roll. Your spell save DCs, you subtract your exhaustion from the spell save DC of any spell you cast. And when you finish a long rest, you remove one of your levels of exhaustion. And when you reach 0, you're no longer exhausted. I like that better than the you get disadvantage, and then you get even more disadvantage, and then your speed is halved, and then your speed is 0, and then you're dead.
It doesn't cripple you.
Exactly. It makes things more difficult without completely crippling you right off the bat.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we might just take... Anyway. I think we might just use this version of exhaustion going forward if you guys get exhaustion for the rest of the campaign.
God, that would have been nice before.
Yeah. Poor Golemov would not have been so fucked.
Yeah.
So expertise we know about, fly speed we know about, gaming set, just like the artisan's tools. Now all gaming sets cost 1 gold. Grappled condition I don't think has changed. Speed is 0 and can't change. By not changed, I mean not changed since the previous playtest.
This one you can drag or carry them down, right? And then they get slowed.
Yep.
So is that different or no?
Yes, slowed is also a new condition.
The escape is also different.
Yeah.
The escape is different from what or was in current edition.
Yeah. So now there is an escape DC, which I believe is in the unarmed attack description, which it really should be in the grappled condition.
Yeah, it should be in there. But
yeah.
It's weird.
So guidance, the new version, it's a reaction you can take in response to you or an ally within 30 feet failing an ability check. You channel magical insight to the creature who failed in the ability check. Creature rolls 1d4 and adds to the check, potentially turning it into a success. Once the creature rolls the die for that spell, the creature can't benefit from the spell again until they finish a long rest.
That's way taking guidance way out of it, which is nice, right?
Yeah, it's just completely spammed. You guys are like constantly guiding each other. You and
you just sit there and spam guidance.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the day, here I'm just gonna cast guidance on you for an hour. Because it doesn't say it's not a concentration spell, and
exactly.
It can't stack.
So.
Well, now we're gonna be fucked. I'll never get a good roll again. No more guidance.
And it's only when you fail. So if you succeed, you don't need to cast it.
Yeah. But then again, you can't get a cast on you again until you have a long rest.
Exactly.
That's pretty interesting right there. I like that.
So it is much more of, you see you're having trouble? Your powers help you out a little bit.
Yep. Help action. So this, I believe, is changing from the PHP where it specifically says you have to choose one of your skill proficiencies. So you have to be proficient in order to help. I don't think the current version says that you have to be proficient, it's just you help. And it also adds assisted tackling.
Yeah.
So that's nice. You give them advantage.
So again, isn't that just kind of like pack tactics almost?
Basically, you're going up and like distracting the enemy for your ally to come in and get advantage on the attack.
Not pack tactics, but
it's just a free way to be able to draw, I guess, aggro almost.
Basically, yeah.
And give someone advantage, right?
Yeah.
Instead of having to take a feat to do it or anything else like that, it's just an action now that you can just do.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah. And then here's that heroic inspiration. So I like that it's now called Heroic Inspiration, so it's very specifically taking it away from Bardic Inspirations. I know I have seen in live plays people getting confused between Inspiration and Bardic Inspiration. So it's good having that specific, but I still don't like Inspiration.
Here, you have another version of Inspiration.
Yeah.
We're gonna add a third one.
So gaining it, we already know when you roll a 1. Also, if the DM feels like rewarding it or awarding it for someone who's done something particularly heroic in character, you can only have 1 at a time, and that's that. So you give yourself advantage on a d20 test, which is a quicker way of saying what it says in the PHB, where it says you gain an extra d20. And actually, this takes away giving it to someone else, so that's better. I like that.
Yeah, because you shouldn't be able to. You just got inspired, not somebody watched you fuck up and went, "Whoa, shit!"
Exactly.
I shouldn't do that either, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
And then hidden condition, concealed, so aren't affected by an effect.
You can't see me.
Yeah. So
Right.
magic missile can't target you if you're hidden. If you're hidden when you roll initiative, you have advantage. Attack rolls against you have disadvantage, and your attack rolls have advantage. And when you make a sound louder than a whisper, an enemy finds you, you make an attack roll, cast a spell with verbal component, or you aren't heavily obscured or behind cover, you're no longer hidden.
Makes sense.
So the hide action. So this is where I'm in agreement with people having trouble with DCs, because it's telling you make a DC 15 stealth check while you're obscured or behind 3/4 cover or total cover.
Rather than just that, there's a little rock in front of you and you go boom.
Well, rather than it being up to the DM how difficult it is for someone to see you.
Which is nice.
Yeah. And then your check's total becomes the DC for another creature to find you. So
Fair enough.
I kind of think it should be the other way around. The DC for your stealth check should be like the other creature's perception. Does that make sense? That's my thought on it.
Yeah.
I think it just makes it more of a level across the whole way. Instead of something having a DC 20 of their perception, they just spot you all the time. Right?
Yeah.
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 It's nice.
So incapacitated, can't take actions or reactions. This is just basically clarifying incapacitated.
Bitch, you dead.
Yeah. You can't concentrate if you're incapacitated. You can't speak if you're incapacitated, that sort of thing.
I'm pretty sure you could concentrate before. When you
Technically you could. It didn't say that you couldn't.
Technically you could. You couldn't. Yeah. So there's arguments to be made that things that would still stay even though you're like sitting there at 0 HP and incapacitated.
Yeah. So we have hit 9 o'clock. We're on 33 of 37. Do you want to continue or do you want to call it there?
Kill the 4 pages.
Okay. So,
Do you guys want to continue? Is that what we're saying?
There's 4 pages.
yeah.
Let's just do it. Alright.
Yeah.
All right. So, influence action. This is, again, one where they shouldn't be giving the player the DC. But it is partially for the player, partially for the DM. It's just telling you the attitudes that an NPC can have, what can be done, and if you make a charisma check, animal handling, deception, intimidation, or persuasion, then you hit one of these DCs, and this is what the creature does.
Well, and see, this is where I mean, like, this is something, a base that I would assume that you would work off of.
Yeah.
More than anything else, right? Like, this is a suggestion saying, like, okay, then you might consider how likely is this, bear to do something that this barbarian's asking it to.
Exactly.
Right.
And I mean,
like,
if you look at the beginning of the document, it tells you that the skills and spells are just suggestions. Yeah. This doesn't specify that it's a suggestion, which is, I think, why people have such a problem with it. Because it's not saying, hey, this is what we suggest, but it could be different.
I think people are blowing that out of the water and should have just understood that it is a suggestion.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't blatantly say it.
Exactly.
Because that's how so much of the rules and this stuff is that
exactly.
It's like, here's the framework, this is what we suggest you work with.
Exactly.
But here's the core that you need. Go.
My actual big problem with this is how they call a creature hostile, but if you fail to check, it offers no help but does no harm. That's their suggestion. Not this hostile creature suddenly becomes more hostile, perhaps invoking combat. They're suggesting, oh no, it just doesn't do anything.
Well, I mean, depends on what you're asking to do, right? Maybe like, hey,
yeah. I think it's just the wording of hostile.
Yeah.
They should use a different word if they don't want it to be actually hostile. If you fail.
I'm trying to think of another word, but I can't.
Indifferent. Except indifferent's already being used.
Yeah. Well, indifference, like, you don't care one way or the other. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
This one is, you would actively, you could call it angry. Angry doesn't necessarily
dismissive.
mean aggression. Dismissive? Yeah, dismissive would probably be a good one.
So, moving on to invisible. Just telling you what happens when you're invisible. You can't be seen. If you're invisible when you roll initiative, you have advantage. And attack rolls against you have disadvantage, and your attack rolls have advantage. I'm pretty sure at least the first and third of those are in the invisible spell. I don't think it surprises, but basically just
I think it's
clarifying.
Just the same as it's just assumed that you had advantage because you have the element of surprise.
Exactly.
It's like a sneak attack, like,
yeah.
Surprise, bitch, you're being stabbed in the kidney by the invisible sword.
Jump action. So now jumping is an action instead of part of your movement.
Boo.
That makes sense, though.
When you take the jump action, you leap more than 5 feet. So 5 feet or less is difficult terrain, part of your movement. But jumping more than that is an actual action. Kind of like, Indiana Jones getting to the pit and then he stops and then he jumps over it, I think is kind of what that's looking at.
It's like the leap hop, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where you're just like take a stride, like an extra long slide, because it's 5 feet. It's basically just a gentle, long extra hop stride.
So when you take this action, your speed must be greater than 0, and you make a strength, acrobatics, or athletics DC 10 to make the jump. This I think is fine to have the DC because it's a jump. If you don't move at least 10 feet, you have disadvantage. And on a fail, you leap 5 feet horizontally or vertically. It's a high jump. Yeah, 5 feet straight up.
Just.
Yeah.
You know, guys, I was looking back on that thing where you said that you didn't like the wording for hostile and that sort of thing. I think this is actually, it's worded quite well. Because, like, I know for me personally, you can be hostile towards somebody that you don't like them, right?
Yeah.
But you're not going to straight out be aggressive, right?
Yeah.
And so when it has something like that, and then it also does the like DC for the hostile creature's response, where it will offer no help or no harm, but you know, if you do something to provoke it, then it probably won't have any problem.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe adding a 4th one for aggressive. So you can talk it down from being aggressive, but if you fail, then it's on. I
still think that's that kind of, I still think that falls under hostile, because like it's almost like you can be hostile and just waiting for that one response from somebody, whether it's like they move a little too fast and you're like, I'm going at you, or you say the wrong thing. So I was just reading it a little bit more, and it does make sense to me. So anyway, sorry, I just want to jump back to that for a second.
No problem. So, and on a successful check, the total determines the distance in feet that you can clear horizontally, or half the total if you're jumping vertically. Doesn't expend your movement, but you can't. The distance you clear can't exceed your speed. So, I mean, that's a change. Jumps used to take up your speed. Well, you can't run and jump more than 30 feet, I guess, is what it's saying.
No, sorry, I'm just trying to understand like how jump. So, on a successful check, the check's total determines the distance of feet that you can clear horizontally. So if you roll a 20, you're still only jumping 10 feet.
So if you roll a 20 and you've got, let's say, a 2 strength, you are jumping 22 feet straight ahead or 11 feet up. So the check's total is horizontal. Half the check's total is vertical.
Yep. Okay.
So that's a change from it being your strength score horizontal or half your strength score vertical. It can be much higher than your strength score horizontal.
Yeah, because you don't need strength to jump.
Yeah, you do. Like,
you can be dexterity.
So the dexterity is specifically in the rogue. The rogue gets that as part of one of their features. They can use dexterity instead.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, that jumping crazy distances. I don't know. It's just weird.
I mean, the worst case scenario.
You can jump 11 feet into the air, like from a standing jump. That's fucking unreal. Right?
Well, you have to run at least 10 feet, otherwise you have disadvantage.
Wow.
But all you're aiming for is a 10.
You're also rolling that's also you rolling a 20. That's like you critting the roll.
Yeah.
So
it's just like, it seems like it's just the jump action. I know you wouldn't use it too often, but
I don't know. I don't like it as an action, but whatever.
I think an action's okay, but it's just, jumping 10, 20 feet, and it just doesn't seem
realistic.
Right. Yeah, it's just it seems crazy, right? Anyway.
It would be better for specific races maybe to have a bonus, or specific classes to have a bonus to how high or far you can jump, rather than it being you can jump 10 feet vertically.
Just for reference here, the world record for men's long jump is 29 and about a quarter feet.
Ooh. What about high jump?
How high is the just straight jumping up and down? Because like, are they going for the bottom of your feet or the top of your hands?
So with high jump, it is basically your lowest point.
Yeah, world record high jump is 8 feet and 4 inches, or quarter inches.
Yeah, so I mean it's 2 feet more than world record, and you're supposed to be heroes.
We're in the world record.
Yeah,
heroes.
You're heroic.
And
so basically superheroes.
Maybe it's just because I can't jump.
Maybe.
Well, we're all white guys. Of course we can't jump.
Horizontally is only the maximum you can do is 25 feet, right? Because plus your ability modifier, your strength ability modifier is max +5. So
plus your proficiency bonus if you're proficient in acrobatics or athletics, because it's an acrobatics or athletics skill.
All right. Well, yeah, that's not too bad still, though.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
So, I mean, technically max 30, which is, what was that, 6 inches longer than the record?
The world record, we're talking,
Yeah. So, light weapon property. So, what they're changing here, is that currently you can use a bonus action. If you're carrying 2 light weapons, you can use a bonus action to attack with the second weapon. Now you can just make an extra attack. So you're using 1 attack action and you can make an extra attack with the second light weapon. You don't have to use your bonus action, so your bonus action is still freed up. Which I like, really.
Yeah, well, dual wielding is also a feat, is it not?
Yes, dual wielding doesn't... I don't believe... Does that feat do that?
It's not a standard thing anymore, necessarily. It's a feat now. Which I liked.
Character feats and dual wielder...
Like, I'm pretty sure Rogue's got that at the beginning.
Dual wielder doesn't give you that. It just gives you extra AC.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And you can use heavier weapon. The weapons don't have to be light. So with this, I think the one that rogues get, or the fighting style, one of the two, lets you add your ability modifier to the damage of the second attack, which you currently can't do.
Yeah, right.
And then long rest. This is the same as it was last month, where interruption, 1 hour of walking, casting spells or activity. As long as it was 1 hour, you get a short rest. That's fine. The magic action. This is new. So there is here not source. I'm looking for casting time of 1 minute or longer. Let's just go 1 and 10 minutes. So if you were casting a spell not as a ritual, you have to spend the entire casting time using your concentration every 6 seconds to continue casting, 1 minute or longer. So alarm 10 rounds. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but at the same time it doesn't, because when are you going to be casting a 10-minute spell in the middle of a battle?
Right. So yeah, would they want you to do like 6 concentration
Yep. Well, not concentration checks, but if you get hit during that, or if you cast another concentration spell, then then you break your concentration and you use up the spell slot, or you
As
don't
weird as this
use the spell
sounds,
slot.
as weird as this sounds, this magic action, um, opens up the possibility of multiple turn spell casts.
That's true.
Things like, I don't know.
They used to have that
Finger of Death.
in was it 3.5 had multi-turn casting? I know second edition did.
Yeah, it had a casting time, right? Where 5e has a casting time, but most of the combat spells you use are either a bonus action or an action. There's nothing that is outside of that you'll use in combat.
Yeah.
But this action brings in the possibility of having like a 3-turn cast for something like, I don't know, Power Word Kill.
Yeah.
Right,
which
so
would be good. I just brought up
giving
Hallow.
a reaction to something that could instantly kill someone.
Yeah. I just brought up Hallow though. This one's got a 24-hour casting time, so you're using your concentration for 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
That one. I mean, technically you could fuck them up, but at the same time, technically you should be using your concentration to cast the spell, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not against it.
Yeah. Movement is the same. It's no different. So an incapacitated creature, tiny or smaller, or a creature who is 2 sizes larger or smaller than you, you can pass through their space. And another creature's space is difficult terrain unless they're tiny. This is all basically the same. It's just, clarifying.
Yeah. That's what a lot of this is, honestly, is clarifying. There's a lot less and just kind of continuity sense as well with like the changes to a lot of the spells, right? So
yeah. All musical instruments now cost 20 gold. Ritual casting. This is what I was talking about before. If you have a spell prepared that has the ritual tag, you can cast the spell as a ritual. You no longer have a special feature for ritual casting. I'm not sure I like that. I think that some classes should have rituals and others shouldn't. Just in that's how they are.
I'm okay with it because it's casting the same spell, right?
Yeah.
So technically you're accessing the same magic. So while the ritual may be defined slightly differently from person to person, it's still a ritual that you're doing, right?
I guess.
So like,
yeah, a bard could be playing a song that is their ritual for the spell. I guess that makes sense.
Well, yeah, like, and not even just that, right? Like, it could be the same ritual from person to person, but I guess class to class would have different rituals for each thing, right?
Yeah, that does make sense.
So, I don't know. Like, rituals are usually pretty. It's usually almost a set in stone thing. You have to do it this way, otherwise it doesn't work, right?
I mean, it depends on the magic that you're accessing.
The pentagram and stuff like that and all that, or whatever you're using. Because otherwise, then it just, you're not quite. It's like you're at the door, but you can't open it. You don't have the right key.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the way I see it for a ritual, though, right?
That's kind of saying like divine magic can only be cast one way, right?
I mean, they do have some spells that are shared between divine and arcane. They're going to be cast different ways because one is getting it from manipulating the magical weave, another is getting it directly from a god or whatever.
Right. Like, just little differences like that, and it's just, I don't know.
So we already talked about the search action. Short swords are moving to simple weapons. The slowed condition, this is what the grapple was talking about. So it's basically difficult terrain. You spend an extra foot of movement for every foot you move. Attack rolls against you have advantage, and you have disadvantage on dex saves. All make sense. Study action. So you can take an action to do an intelligence check, to study something, arcana, history, investigation, nature, religion. That all makes sense. Yeah. We already talked about clerics as an int class.
Yeah.
Swim speed, tool proficiency, teleportation. So I don't particularly know why they needed to define teleportation. I don't know why that's defined. Tremor sense. What's that?
It just seems weird, right? Like,
yeah.
Maybe people thought you could hit somebody that was teleporting. Like, it doesn't. Yeah.
Maybe. Tremor sense doesn't need to be in here because it's already in the previous month, and there was nothing in this month's that has tremor sense. And then unarmed strikes. This is where it is telling you strength modifier plus proficiency bonus to hit, bludgeoning damage equal to 1 plus strength mod, or you can grapple, or you can shove. And this is where the DC is. DC 8 plus strength mod plus proficiency bonus. So in one hand, it makes sense that the DC is here, but also the DC should also be in the grappled condition, telling you what you need to fight against.
Yeah.
Like the opposing creature's strength plus proficiency plus 8 or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Some way to say it.
Iggy go on and grapple a giant, right? Because he'd just be grabbing his shin or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? It wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah. But that is the end of that. Any closing thoughts?
Arkham Forge.
Clarify. A lot of this is clarifying rules, which I appreciate because it just clarifies the minimal amount of things that have been muddied already. So I'm okay with that. Just looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with it too.
Yeah.
It is a lot to take in, mind you. So.
It is.
Again.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's a lot of the same stuff. It's just,
Yeah. You want to go through Arkham Forge?
Sure, I'm going to go through Arkham Forge again. We're in an Arkham Forge affiliate. We'll see if I can talk a little bit better now. We use the Arkham Forge's Master Toolkit program. Actually, Brad does. And say what we use on our maps. You can get it for one-time payment, no subscription fee. It can be used fully offline. It is the full commercial license to export those maps if you so wish. You can install it on an unlimited number of devices with one purchase. It's easy to import and manage your own content, build fully animated maps with real-time lighting. It's got immersive audio. You can hook up the TV, projector, play in person, touchscreen compatible for physical minis. I'm still looking forward to that. One day I will get that. And what else? It's got a lickable note system too. Also, if you want, you can use the code word mushroom tips, all one word, for $5 off the Master Toolkit, either the fantasy or sci-fi starter pack. And just to try it out first, so you don't have to get stuck with anything, there's a 14-day free trial, and then you use mushroom tips for the $5 off. That's mushroom tips, all one word, for Arkham Forge, Master Toolkit program, sci-fi, or Fantasy Starter Pack. Fuck yeah. Arkham Forge. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then watch the commercial a bit more because it looks amazing.
Yeah.
And then if you guys want to do any shout outs to who we get our sound from, or the gentleman we're actually getting some of our maps from that you're putting into our
yes, Zach. Oh shit, what's his name? Zach Muller. Yes, Zach Muller from Zach Muller Illustration. We're gonna be using his Spelljammer maps. They're beautiful. Check them out on Patreon. And then for the music, all day today or all day tonight, all night, I've been running chat highlight settings. What the hell is this? I don't need that. Yeah, all night I've been playing White Bat Audio. I believe his name is Carl Casey. He does Twitch safe, royalty free playlists and music, and it's all synthwave and retro wave and horror and stuff like that. I quite like it.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. And yeah,
is that gonna happen to be on like what is that thing that you're just talking about?
Patreon?
Yeah, is he on Patreon as well?
No, but he is on Bandcamp. I believe you can buy a bunch of his music on Bandcamp.
Yeah, well, so there you go. Check him out.
Yeah. And yeah, the majority of our other stuff that we use in game, I think, it was all Music D20. He doesn't do that stuff anymore. He went to I think he's working with a particular game developer or campaign setting developer, and he's only doing music for them now. So he doesn't have generic stuff for Icewind Dale or stuff like that. So
he doesn't have new crap, but he has old crap.
Exactly.
Good his old crap too.
Yeah, his old crap is good crap.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Though.
All right. It is 9:30. You guys go to bed. You guys have to work in the morning.
Yeah. True. Well, you guys don't have to leave for work, but at least my work's close now, so it's all good. All right, gentlemen, take care.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Like, subscribe, tell your friends about us.
Yeah.
Eventually, we'll get up there too.
Yeah.
And Patreon, all that stuff. Eventually we'll have Patreon.
We got to talk about that with the whole group.
Yeah, and then you can actually we'll get them to we'll just see what we can do with Patreon.
Yeah.
Find some fun stuff with that.
Pictures of my butthole.
Hey, you know what? Whatever gets.
That would be an OnlyFans, not Patreon.
Well, if you want an OnlyFans, tell us, and you can get pictures of Connor's butthole.
A comedian did that. He got OnlyFans to convince people to sign up for it, and all of his videos are just comedy. There's no naked this comedian, just it's all his comedy routines.
Technically, OnlyFans doesn't just have porn on it.
Technically.
That's 80 to 90% of it. That's not all that they have.
Exactly.
And what we should go put ours up on there will be the D&D OnlyFans. Could be worse, right? You never know.
Probably not the only ones though.
Check us out on OnlyFans next week. All right, gentlemen.
All right.
I'll see you later, eh?
Have a good night.
Have a good night.